Oh gosh.
Hi.
Awesome. Nice to meet you. I'm Lala.
Hi, Lala.
Hi.
Lola?
Lala. L-A-L-A.
Lala.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, Lala.
We just need you to knock on the whereby, and then we can let you in, and we'll see your face.
So one thing I didn't warn you about,
Yeah.
When it comes to Jonathan,
Yeah.
is the guy has a voice that is as smooth as aged
that's
whiskey.
right.
I was
Oh,
just gonna
yeah,
say
yeah.
that. I feel
Doc
that.
sent me a link yesterday.
Do you want me to send it again?
I've got it here. I've
Oh,
got it.
amazing. Bam. He's here.
He's here.
You
There we
hear
go.
him.
Oh, my camera's okay. I think it's good. Can you hear me?
Awesome. We can hear you perfectly. We just need you to knock on the door of that link.
Perfect.
There it is.
Yes, there it is. Beautiful. And there he is.
There's my man,
There's his face.
Jonathan Dubsky.
Hey guys, what's
That's
up?
amazing.
So
All right,
it's-
one
I
sec.
want to
It's
see
doubled
you
up.
guys though.
Yeah.
I gotta close this.
One sec.
I gotta
Just
go to
mute
your.
this.
Hold on. I gotta get your Twitch.
Mute
up.
that side.
Right? That voice is just mwah.
Hold on.
Take your time. I'm also setting up.
Yeah.
Twitch. Come on, behave.
Whereby.
Angry Unicorn.
It's weird how it-
unicorns.
Shifts it.
Yeah.
It's
Okay,
not
good.
actually.
There, now I can see you both. But it's weird though. I'll be hearing you at a different time than I'll be seeing you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's slightly off. Yeah, that's true.
Okay, that's fine. I'll just stare at your beautiful faces the whole
Thank
time.
you. Oh, thanks.
And we'll stare at yours, and it'll
Yeah.
get really weird, and then
Deal.
Deal. We'll just tell each other how gorgeous we are
Yeah.
all day.
he's a little
Okay,
quiet,
I'll
says
start with
Paps.
Doc.
Yeah. Good.
All right, I'm gonna turn you up. Give me 1 sec.
I'm a big fan of the facial contouring. I'm jealous because I do not have the genes to provide me with such abilities.
You have.
Kind of grows where it wants. And that's it. Yeah.
It's honestly, it's smoke and mirrors, because I'm the exact same way.
Are you really?
Yeah. So like
How did you achieve that?
I very, very carefully. So like the connection between the mustache and the beard, that's not real. That's just long hair that I've grown along the side. So it's actually just how do you say, an illusion?
No way.
And
That's
the reason I make
sells.
and this the along the face, I'm like, oh, he must do that on purpose. He doesn't. No, because that's the only place it grows.
That's incredible. Tell me more.
Well, that's it. That's the secret.
That's the
That's
secret.
the mystery.
It's out.
Hello, everybody in chat. How's everybody doing?
All right. Everything's set up. It looks pretty good.
Yeah.
He looks great.
I've got maple syrup on my fingers. I apologize if things get sticky.
Because he's Canadian.
Because he's Canadian. I appreciate this, and I appreciate that you're coming in with the maple syrup, because as we told our family, we survive on maple syrup in Canada.
As
up in here.
Canadians, we do. Yes.
Is there anything else?
There's a knock on the door.
There is a knock on the door.
Oh,
I don't
God.
understand.
You need to turn them up still.
I still need to turn them up. Okay, I will.
Am I quiet? Do
crank
you want me
'em.
to? I can turn myself up.
No, actually, you're gonna be fine on your end. It is me that
Okay.
needs to manage your volume. So here we
It's
go.
not you. It's me.
It's not you. It's me. I'm so sorry.
It's a little bit you.
It's mostly me. It's entirely me. You're dying in your game, by the way, my love.
I know.
Okay.
It's
No,
I think
Marcus.
Josh is killing me.
Yeah. He is. All right.
You leave
Yeah.
that sweet man alone.
Yeah. You're killing Marcus. We're not happy with you. All right.
I can bring this closer to me. There.
Christ
Bring it up
almighty,
little
it is
bit.
a cold day
You're-
in Canada.
You are now perfection.
my
It's
goodness.
perfect. Here we are. You guys. You can't hear him? Oh, but everybody
Can you
should
hear
be
me?
able to hear him. He's pretty loud.
Lala, you turned yourself up, says Paps. So now we're really loud, and they can't hear Jonathan.
I didn't.
Mic test 1 2 3. Mic test.
He's good now, says Paps.
Yeah. Okay.
You can hear him now.
You should. Yes. Every time we interview somebody new, there's some type of technical issue that I have to deal with, and I deal with it poorly. Every
I
time.
feel for you. I have nothing
you.
but technical issues in my life. Every computer I get close to just inevitably breaks.
Why?
It's
Yeah.
only a matter of when.
Right. Exactly. What the shit? Come on, computers.
My
It is
brother
good.
calls it an aura, and I don't think it's a gift per se.
An aura.
Yeah.
That's cute. I'm gonna start using that.
I like that.
Yeah. Oh, it's just Lala's aura.
Yeah.
Just don't worry about it.
Don't even think about it.
All right.
All
So
right.
let's start this.
Let's start this, you
Guys,
guys.
if you
what's up?
don't know, this is Jonathan Dubsky. Because we are a gaming channel, a lot of you would be mostly familiar with him through his big project, Watch Dogs 2, where he is Jonathan, Josh, the very sharp, very intelligent, yet very closed off individual in Watch Dogs.
Yep. As well, you guys, he is an actor, a voice actor, a director, a writer, a producer. And we have all this links up in there. We want you to check him out. He also has become a streamer recently.
That's right.
When did you start your streaming career?
Yeah, I mean, probably like you guys, I've been a gamer since I was a kid. I just turned 35. I have an older brother who's 4.5, 5 years older than me, and just grew up watching him play games, and I played games since I was a kid, and COVID came. You guys know about this thing? Have you heard?
No.
A little bit, just a tiny little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, no, much about it.
I don't know. It's some kind of rhinovirus, and yeah, I got a little. I'll be honest. I got a little lonely. Like I was stuck at home, and work was few and far between. I was fortunate enough that there were like a couple of voice jobs that I could do from home and record in my little closet over here.
Nice.
But there wasn't a lot going on, and I've met some of my closest and best friends to date playing games online.
Yeah.
And I know that's not a unique story, which is a testament to kind of what you guys do, and what everyone is looking for when they play games and kind of join a community of like-minded individuals.
Yeah.
So I thought, you know what, I saw the Twitch thing. I wasn't sure about it at first because I was, I think, a bit judgmental. That I didn't really get it.
Yeah.
And then I said, you know what? It's been a while since I've like tried something completely new, and I'm not talking about learn a new recipe. Like when you're done school, when you're in your work, there's not a lot of opportunity to try brand new things. And this was something completely brand spanking new. And I was like, if this means that because I'm going to be playing games anyway. But if there's a way to do that and maybe have a couple people to chat with, we talk about each other's issues and life in general and just kind of see where it goes from there. And then I decided, I'm gonna try streaming. I've got this 720p camera that my fiance bought in 2003.
It works. It's great.
Yeah, 2003, and I've got a lot of film gear because I'm a filmmaker as well. But right now I've just got this IKEA lamp with about 4 lights set into it, and it's I've got a little green screen behind me and a nice little setup, and it's just been a fun time. It's been a cool little experiment, and I think obviously Watch Dogs 2 gave me a bit of a platform for people to find me.
Yeah.
Amidst the ocean of Twitch
streamers.
And like a lot of people came because they were interested in like, oh my god, you're in Watch Dogs 2.
Yeah.
But after all those people kind of came, asked their questions, and lost interest, like there still was a really small group of amazing people that stuck around.
Yeah.
And they come by to streams, and it's just nice. It's just a nice way to spend a couple hours a week playing games, chatting with your friends, seeing how everyone's doing, keeping up to date, and yeah, I mean it's a beautiful thing.
It is. Oh my God, I completely agree.
Yeah.
It is. It's been transformative in a way.
For us, it has.
Been, yeah.
So we were in the exact same boat actually when we started. Neither of us really knew what we were aware of Twitch. Yeah. Lala had no idea what Twitch was, and I was just perusing because I was interested in the platform, but I didn't know what it was really about. And then there was a point in our lives where we decided that we wanted to kind of change gears as far as what we were doing for a living. And so I suggested to Lala, because of her outgoingness and the type of person that she is, that she jump onto Twitch. Yeah. I don't know what it's for, but I assume, like, based on what I've seen, she would be capable of doing it, and it kind of grew from there. It's so fun. Yeah, we were kind of like, ugh, what is this sort of thing in the same way.
And now it's amazing because we get to interview amazing folks like yourself, and share your experiences with the world, and that's like just it's been full circle. It's fantastic.
Do you mind me asking what you guys were doing before?
No, not at all.
We're gonna make the interviewer the interviewee.
Yeah.
No, I love that. We've always that's awesome. Actually, I was a professional web developer for a university.
Yeah, and I was an educational developer, so I developed curriculum for the university.
And that's where we met. Yeah.
And that's where we met. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah. How did you meet your fiance?
Yeah, I met my. Did you ask how I met her?
Yeah, how you met her. Yeah.
I was so for those of you who are not from Quebec, we have in our school system a thing called CEGEP, and basically you graduate high school after grade 11 if you're staying within Quebec, and then you do 2 years of this this strange experience called CEGEP, where it's kind of like, it's not quite university, but it's not quite high school anymore. And I don't think it in itself knows what it is,
Yeah.
which is perfect. So I
Gotta
went
put him
into
somewhere.
exactly, yeah. So I went into I was beelining straight into the sciences, and I wanted to be a surgeon.
Oh, wow.
But I took those precision skills elsewhere. No.
Yeah.
I was, I took acting classes when I was a kid, and anyways, I'm getting into the wrong story here, but I met her when I was in theater,
Wow.
my second year of CEGEP, and stalked her for as long as was necessary until she agreed to hang out with me.
Exactly it. Yeah.
And she was even with a guy at the time, and he was like on the football team. Fuck off.
Get out of here. Yeah.
This is a guy after my own heart here. It's like, no, that guy's a piece of shit. Check it out.
No, but like things weren't going that great for them, and then I was trying to be like, the supportive friend. Why don't you give him the benefit of the doubt? I'm sure he's better at communicating than that. And no.
Sounds all too familiar, doesn't it?
Oh yeah,
It does.
It's every rom-com ever, right? But yeah, I weaseled my way in there, and now it'll be. We were supposed to get married actually in August.
Oh.
Yeah, we were going to.
COVID, you son of a bitch!
What?
Yeah, dude, we're out 15 grand, no joke.
Fuck,
It was our wedding / elopement / honeymoon. Everything was booked. We were going to spend 7 days in Switzerland and then 7 days in South France.
Oh God.
That never happened. I have a green suit. It's great. It goes well in the hills. I don't know if it goes well anywhere else.
Like live.
That was the 15 grand. That
No.
That was the
That's
15
the
grand,
soup.
No. But yeah, I mean, that didn't happen. So I mean, we've been together now. We got together January 5th, 2005. So.
Oh wow! Holy shit!
That's a long time.
16 years, man.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Wow.
That's how we met.
Badass. Oh, that's a cute story.
That is a cute story.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
So you were born in Montreal.
Yeah.
And have moved to Toronto.
I did. I was in Toronto for 7 years.
Mm-hmm. And now
I was living there. Yeah, now I'm back to Montreal.
Oh,
okay.
Awesome. Very cool. And is that where you're permanently residing in Montreal?
For now, yeah, that's where budgets and work allow for at the moment.
Yeah.
As the world kind of inflates and becomes ridiculously expensive.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of stay where
are
you're
you
stuck.
guys?
We're in Guelph, so we're actually only about an hour outside of Toronto. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I totally feel you on the cost of living, because the Toronto cost of living has migrated to Guelph.
Yeah.
But you're familiar though. You are familiar with the Toronto prices.
Oh God. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There
Well,
are prices.
I lived in Toronto for a good chunk of time, and like years and years and years ago, and even then, this is going back to like 2008, 2007, and the prices back then were just ridiculous, and that was just for apartments when I was in school. So yeah,
we moved in.
insane.
We moved in 2012, right on Sherbourne and Wellesley. So it's pretty central downtown. Like it's right beside the village. And we got a 2-bedroom apartment, all included, for around $1,400 a month.
Oh,
now this place was riddled with cockroaches. We had floods every year. Like it was a real piece of work, but it was our home for 7 years.
Well, and you make the most of it. Like, I'm sure there were things about that place that you guys are like, remember that shitty house we lived in? Like, I really like this about that, though. We should incorporate that into our forever
Well,
home.
it was the proximity. It was the fact that I could literally, either walk or take a bike ride to every acting class, every audition, a lot of gigs some of the time. And I think that, like, freedom of movement to me was something that I still, to this day, value so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, especially when you don't have it anymore. Yeah. So we had something pointed out in chat, and that's that. I'm sending you the proper one now. So you can
Okay, I'll replace it. We did get a Dubsky.
Dubsky. Yeah, that's your name now?
Good.
I don't know if you knew
we
that.
misspelt your name on the overlay. We're gonna fix it immediately, right now. as we
I
speak.
didn't even see that. No,
No.
I think you guys got it right. I think we should change it.
Yeah, Dubsky. That's it now.
Yeah, it
and
should be
rolls
Dubsky.
off the tongue better, I think.
Yeah.
Forever.
Let me just call my doctor in the government and have him change it.
Yeah. That's only fair, I feel.
All right, there you go, babe.
Dubsky.
So one thing that I wanted to ask, based on what you were saying about streaming, and you had the, obviously the fans of the game would roll through, but everything has you know.
yeah.
And
The honeymoon phase finished quick.
exactly. But one thing that I did want to ask about one thing that I've read about, for one, and one thing that our community shared with us about the character Josh, is that and what we realized, like, he's autistic and he's very like, it's all very obvious signs of autism. Did you intend on becoming like an advocate for that through that character, or did that just kind of happen?
That's a good question. I don't know if I really set out to be an advocate, but I definitely felt like, for example, the audition process for the game was interesting because originally the character I was auditioning for was this kind of over-the-top YouTube personality type character. It's more similar if you played the game to like a Wrench vibe.
Yeah.
And then on the third callback, they sent another script and they were like, we've made some changes to the character. And just so you know, he's autistic. And I remember thinking, one, I'm absolutely terrified because we've been working on this other character for a while. And two, holy crap, like, what a responsibility. I would hate to do something and put so much of myself into it just to completely destroy the potential of a role like this.
Yeah. Now, are you yourself autistic?
I'm not. No. But I mean, as far as I know, you know, at this point, but that's one of the interesting things is it's such a big spectrum. Like I've been a camp counselor for many summers and shadowed children on the spectrum from the point where they were just completely inaccessible to just mildly Asperger's to just everything under the rainbow. And it was really interesting to be able to remember, you know, some of those experiences, you know, mixed with doing my own research, watching interviews, reading books about those. One in particular, I don't know if you've ever heard of this book, but it's called Look Me in the Eyes, by an author named John Elder Robinson.
I need to look into that.
His brother wrote a book, Running with Scissors, which is a little more common and popular. And the book is an autobiography about how he was only diagnosed in his late 30s.
It's exactly like you.
Yeah.
But are you autistic?
I am.
But
yes.
just
And
recently.
I wasn't diagnosed until 31.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I had no idea. I just thought I was just this kind of fuck up wandering through life, and I found it. Yeah. And yeah. So I'd like to talk about more of your portrayal because
it's excellent.
It's excellent.
Yeah.
But I want you to finish your thought there.
Yeah. No, I mean the book was basically honestly it was like a map. It was a map because he was going through all the years of his life, what it was like living at home at a young age, with a brother, with a family, all the choices he made leading up to becoming an engineer, a sound engineer, working with circuitry, and just the experience of what it was like to be him in all of the years leading up to his diagnosis.
Yeah.
And it was so incredibly eye-opening. That mixed with the experiences I had with the people that I'd met, mixed with the fact that one of the writers for Watch Dogs 2 is on the spectrum with 2 children on the spectrum.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it was a really scary thing because
I can imagine.
you just don't want to screw this up.
No.
It's so easy to start falling towards, you know, caricature. And that's something that I really wanted to steer clear of. And fortunately, Ubisoft was incredibly open to collaboration in the writer's room as well as on set. So when we had our first original table read, I remember there were certain scenes where they were having Josh drink alcohol and making him do things that I felt, you know, just wouldn't attribute to his character or his anxieties or his personality.
Right.
And they were like, yeah, okay, that sounds good. And on set as well, just making suggestions to the director, knowing that I have the weight of this portrayal on my shoulders. And I just want to make it as truthful, as honest, and just be able to wipe my hands of the job and say I did everything I can.
You could.
I don't feel, you know, I left everything on the floor.
Yeah.
So now that you're on the other end of it, how do you feel about your performance?
I'm incredibly proud.
Yeah.
I'm
should
incredibly
be.
proud. I mean, it's not every day you get to play something that's not just yourself.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
I have on. I mean, I can go and get it, but in the hallway wall, I have this giant kind of shrine of Watch Dogs 2 fan art and like messages from parents of
Oh.
autistic children who played the game with their kids. And I don't
Yeah.
want to talk about it because I'm going to start crying.
You're giving me
But-
the chills.
But it's coming. It's coming. It's already,
Yeah, it's
already
coming.
happened.
It's coming.
Guys, come on, keep it together. We just started the interview.
No, I'm. If
We're
there's
not.
anybody here who knows me, I'm a cry baby, man. I love to feel things.
Yeah.
And
Good.
you know, it's totally fine.
Well, Christ, as
I-
an
But
actor,
just-
I imagine that probably works
gots
tenfold
to.
for you.
Yeah, it's gotta feel
It just it moved me so much to know that, you know, they shared this with their kids and now their kids are inspired and they don't feel like a burden and they just want to look into coding or building, or they don't feel like they're a nuisance to society, that they have a place.
Yeah.
And it was just like there is no better feeling in the world than knowing what you do is being received and helping people.
Helping others. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's massive.
Sedge makes a good point. You fit right in here. So we are very big. Obviously, after being diagnosed with autism, we are a center, a point for people with autism who don't feel like they belong, and who don't feel like they're understood. I mean, obviously, I can't sit here and say I understand autism because I'm on it. I don't know all about it. I'm no doctor, but it's nice because I never had that growing up, that we can offer that, and to have more and more people in the world, and more like there's more and more focus. What Watch Dogs 2 did, not only for autism, but for people in the LGBTQ community and the abbreviations, as well as understanding like transgender.
Yeah.
And I think they really nailed it. It really
They did.
impresses me and makes me, you know, very, very happy to play the game because of it. So I get behind that 110%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what I wanted to say about the performance, now I haven't played through the entire game, and I'm going to now that I've played it a bit, but I've watched the videos, and I've interacted with Josh in the game, and as a person who is closed off until, you know, I'm kind of cracked open, I'd say you nailed that. Like, even interacting with him at the beginning of the game where he's like, no, I don't do anything else. This is it. Like, leave me alone.
Yeah.
I'm like, I get that.
Yeah.
Like, because it's this guy, this outsider who's coming in who's like, hey, tell me about yourself. And you're like, fuck off. Like, I don't know you shit. Like, this is what I do. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
And then you warms up, and that's such an autistic characteristic.
Yeah.
You nailed it.
Yeah. It's a beautiful job.
Yeah. Thank you. Well, there was a feeling of just tapping into his anxieties and just like, where is he comfortable and what makes him tick, what makes him feel uncomfortable and insecure and out of control of the situation.
Yeah.
And then just really like leaning into that. Not quite like on the OCD side of my own personalities, but being able to attribute some of those things and just amplify them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and
really
ultimately
bring them to the front.
that's what it is. It's not things that any other person doesn't experience.
Yeah.
Like
No.
they do, it's just amplified. That's a
Exactly.
good word for it. So yeah, no, you have my appreciation and kudos for the portrayal. You did it well. You were saying that you had read, and I actually took your advice. I purchased that book just now.
Oh, nice.
And I'm actually looking in the eye because I love reading about it. The biggest thing to me, learning that I was autistic in my 30s, was that I have the ability to understand and read about it and get a better idea as to why myself and like potentially my daughter operate the way that we do.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to send you a book as well.
Oh, yeah.
That I, you know, if
It's
it
a very
interests
short
you.
read, but it's an incredibly written book. It's written by an autistic boy.
13-year-old
He was very young.
non-speaking autistic boy.
And it's incredible.
No
His
way.
writing is beautiful.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It was all done through a
that would
type
be
of system
lovely.
he
Yeah.
developed. Yeah, it's really good.
It's a cheap book. It's a really short read, but it's very, very insightful.
Yeah.
I would love that.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So I've sent you the link in DMs.
Awesome.
Now let's get
Sweet.
back onto the interview.
Oh, yes. I just want to say welcome, everybody who's coming into the channel. Thank you for your follows. We're here with Jonathan Dubsky. Josh, who plays Josh in Watch Dogs 2, is among many, many other accomplishments. And we're going to talk about all those. Before we leave Watch Dogs 2, I want to talk a bit more. I've noticed a lot of your pictures on your Twitter are of you with the cast. Did you end up forming close bonds with the cast?
Man, you guys, you have no idea. Like
Yeah.
coming to work every day was, and this is the thing that I kind of appreciated as an actor who has worked, and I do work, but a lot of the work that you do is, you know, a couple of days here, a couple of days there, but it's rare to have an opportunity to go to work and see the same people for 2-3 months, to share a hotel with them, to be seeing them day in, day out. And every single person on the cast being genuinely excited about what we're trying to create.
Yeah.
And we felt that going to work every single day. And I think, and people have mentioned it online that our chemistry is like palpable, and like they believe in the chemistry of the group. And honestly, it's just a testament to casting.
It is, and I think it creates an incredible story. Like it really is in engaging. Like it just grabs you and pulls you in right away.
When you're the main character and you wander into, like, they take you in and then you get to know everybody.
Yeah.
I don't remember the last time I played a game that was so immersive in the sense that it was relationship building like that. And the characters are so dynamic, every one of them.
And you can tell their interactions and the intimacy of the group, and like that you could tell that you guys were
you
friends.
go in and it's like, okay, these guys have known each other for years. You can tell.
Yeah.
Like I the guy who plays Marcus, his name is Ruffin Prentice, and he's probably one of my favorite human beings on the planet. Like everything you feel, all the love you feel from that character, the silliness, like everyone brought their humanity to the roles, and we just lean on each other. We would lean on each other because by bringing your humanity, everyone else brought their own, and we got to share that in scenes with each other.
Yeah.
It's just a beautiful thing. So
I imagine it would bring it to a natural feeling at that point.
Yeah.
It's almost like, it almost feels like doing that game is like winning the Stanley Cup. You know, it's like, where do you go from here? Like that was the best experience ever. Like you can't work on a movie and then go to Comic-Con and meet fans. You can't, there's no platform to interact with your community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's inaccessible. But video games, and being a gamer myself, holy shit, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I know gamers. Yo, these are my people.
Yeah.
Like this is gonna be sick.
That's fascinating that you feel that way. I feel that way too. Like if one of my first questions when I meet somebody is, are you a gamer? Because I know we're gonna relate on a different level.
Yeah.
Than if you weren't.
Than if you weren't a gamer,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I grew up with Metroid, Final Fantasy, Mario, like come on.
Yes.
It's a man after my own heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that being said, where do you go from here? What are your ambitions with voice acting in video games? Are you still pursuing roles in that, or is it because I know that you have a role in filmography as well?
Yeah, I'm a filmmaker.
So is video game voiceovers, is that something you want to continue pursuing, or is that just kind of a stepping stone?
So I'll kind of like add to that question, because if anyone here is an actor and wondering about it, there are definitely like voice actors. Like actors who specifically do voice, they go in a booth, they record their sounds, and that's it, that's all.
Yeah.
I myself and the majority of the cast are not. We're just actors. The audition for Watch Dogs was like any other audition: camera, microphone, scenes. They're recording your live performance.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. It did seem, because both voice actors can just do it from home. We've interviewed a few, but it's not the same. Yeah, when you do live motion capture.
With mocap and the amount of interaction that was required, I imagine it would be very much just like an acting role at this point.
Yeah,
it's very interesting.
I think one of the difficult things is that once you get in the suit, you almost feel like you're supposed to be more theatrical, like you're supposed to do more. But like no, like they want your honest, real, just being.
Yeah.
Sorry, the question was?
Will you be pursuing voice acting?
Pursuing. So I'm still. The industry is starting to pick up again, but I just wait for my agent to send emails saying you have a voice booking for this, or you have an audition for that, put yourself on tape for this. Yeah. It's very much the same for the majority of actors until you get to like some threshold where people are just offering you stuff.
Yeah.
But my ambitions personally are just to, I live a pretty frugal lifestyle. I don't need a lot of stuff. I prefer to have, good company and good people and good times.
Yeah.
So my ambitions are just to hopefully continue to be able to do the things that I love to do while giving other people the permission to do the same thing. Yeah. And afford to do that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's pursuing your dreams.
So, we know that you're an actor. We know that's your passion. Yeah. Do you consider yourself a triple threat at all? Are you a dancer singer at all?
I am pretty. Yes. I mean, I'm not a dancer. Whoa, guys, relax. Okay, chill. I'm not a dancer.
I don't know. I've seen those legs. I'm just gonna say.
I pick up choreography very well. I've always kind of been an athletic person and coordinated. I play a lot of musical instruments. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say triple threat, but I think like maybe a 2.2.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, solid, maybe 2.3.
2.3 we're gonna get there. Have you
Yeah.
done live theater?
I have.
Yes.
It's been ages though.
Oh, it's the best feeling in the world.
That's
Isn't
yeah.
it?
When
Yeah.
I think I did a play in CEGEP, that pretend school thing.
Yeah, the pretend school.
And we were doing Godspell, and I was playing Judas.
Oh.
And I remember the very first time I felt, because like up until that play, whenever you want to present emotion as an actor, that's exactly what I tried to do, was present the idea of an emotion rather than fully experiencing it and sharing it.
Right.
But during Godspell, I had like an aha moment where Jesus was being, spoiler alert, crucified.
What?
Whoa.
Didn't even give us an opportunity.
And I remember I entered from the top of the theater, and I saw him on stage, and the audience was just looking up at me, and this was the moment I was supposed to kill him.
Right.
And then just like the overwhelming sensation of what was happening just like filled me up,
Yeah.
and just like tears started to well, and I can get back there like that. It's happening right now.
Yeah.
That's
Like,
amazing. That's
it just
that
happens.
method.
It
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
it just comes like it's
Comes.
such a wave of emotion, and
Mm-hmm.
and I remember for once understanding like, oh, all I need to do is allow. I don't have to do anything. I just have to be present and allow.
And react.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, switch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, I miss theater very much.
Yeah. There's nothing quite like it.
Very much.
Yeah.
So that question naturally brings itself into the next question,
Mm-hmm.
which is, you want to do a song with me? So
Look at that reaction.
Yeah,
That's an excited
I
reaction.
am a
There's
professional
a drum
musician.
set behind me. You can't see it.
Is there?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Behind the green screen.
So we'll talk more about that. What we like to do, though, any of the guests that we have on, we do ask them that question if they, because a lot of the people that we have on are voice actors or actors in general, and often they will sing as well.
Yeah.
I love to sing.
Oh.
So, and I can share more with you, but I would love to write a song or have you be part of a song if you're a musician.
That would be so
Yeah.
freaking
so,
cool.
we can talk more about that off stream, and I can send you what I've got. But that's very, very exciting for me.
I would love that. That makes me very excited.
Awesome, amazing.
Thank you. That's
Full on semi.
exciting.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he's like, no, it's not semi, it's the full
It's
thing.
a full
yeah.
one. Yeah,
It's a
I
full
lied.
throttle.
I lied, yeah.
J-case,
Yeah.
J-case.
It's not just a semi.
All right, so I'm glad we got that out of the way. That's my little
That's amazing. I would love it.
yeah.
So continuing to talk about acting and voice acting, somebody from our chat wanted to know, what would you offer as advice to people who are interested in wanting to get into this industry?
What would I tell myself? Like real useful tips, and not just like be patient.
Yeah, don't be like, you just gotta follow your dreams and eventually it'll get there. Like not
No,
that.
but like real practical tips. I mean, are we talking about acting in general or specifically voice?
Well, that's actually a good question. They said both.
Okay, so why don't we tackle both? I'll start with just like on camera acting.
Yeah.
What I did was I took acting classes. I looked around the city. I found who was giving acting classes. I grabbed as many of those as I can just to get my feet wet and see what it's like. And then I started looking at universities that had film schools and finding students that were making student films and just trying to get experience that way.
Yeah.
In doing one of those student films, I booked the lead, and my co-star had an agent.
Oh,
and I remember
dang.
talking to her about like, oh my God, like at that point I was thinking, like, oh my God, she's like a real actor. Like she has an agent.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
And it was really cool. And I asked her about the agent's name, and I think I spent the next 6 months just kind of, I had an audition scene that I just filmed. I had some footage from a play that I did in CEGEP, including that Godspell one. And I had enough stuff. I had a headshot. I had a resume ready to go, even though none of it was professional work. I still had something to like present to the agent that they could physically see what I look like, what I sound like, how I move, and my personality.
Yeah.
And then I just called the agency and I asked to book a meeting. And it's the scariest thing in my life.
Yeah.
And I went to the agency and sat down with my agent, who unfortunately is no longer with us. But she said she'd heard about me through the short film and saw my stuff and immediately was like, yeah, sure, let's give it a shot. And she sent me on an audition that day. But that's what it took. I mean, get experience, go make so many mistakes, like so many mistakes.
Yeah.
Feel bad, learn from them, work, get better, keep working at your craft, take more classes, more classes, do cold readings, get out of your comfort zone and learn how to be a collector of no.
Yeah.
And then just keep going. I mean, just do it because it makes you happy. I mean, and don't be in a rush. But anyways, those are some practical things. For voice. For voice, it's a little bit different because it's really just about how you sound. So in that category, you can set yourself up with a mic. You can do some impressions. You can do some original voice work. Just record it. You want like a demo of a minute to a minute and a half max. And you, these days, I don't know if this is true, but if you have agencies in your area, maybe you don't even need to do that anymore because you can record remotely.
Yeah.
But find out who the talent agents are that rep voice work. In Canada, it's a little bit easier because we have a union called ACTRA, and the Actors Union on their website actually lists for you the talent agents in your area that are reputable.
Interesting.
So that bypasses the need to have to vet them, because a lot of agencies are really looking to take advantage of you, quite frankly. They have like initial costs. They want you to use a specific photographer for headshots. All of that is garbage. The agent only makes money when you make money. That's how it's supposed to be.
Oh, okay, sweet.
That was actually going to be my next question from that was, when you walk in, how do you determine the legitimacy of it? The reason I asked that is because working in the music industry, like I've been doing this for just about 15, 20 years now. Yeah. And along the way, learning that a lot of the people are like, oh yeah, I can help you, comes with a price tag, and the work doesn't actually happen. So, I mean, first of all, it's nice that ACTRA exists, because obviously they're like, okay, avoid the bullshit and use these people. In your experience, did you find that was, like, did you run into any individuals like that before you found somebody that you could actually, who did their job properly and was there for to help you rather than you put money in their pocket?
Fortunately, I did not. I mean, I had taken enough classes at that point and knew about the union and the do's and don'ts just from hearsay and talking to other people who had been in the industry or those looking to get into them. When you're in a metropolis that has like a pretty large creative group, like Toronto or Montreal or Vancouver or Ottawa or anywhere in this, like New York, LA, people know things, like whispers are said around, and you kind of catch on pretty quick as to like what's legit and what's not.
Right.
If you know where to look.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. But no, fortunately I met with my agent, and Susan was like my second mother. And it's very important that you have a good relationship with your agent, because it's very easy. And if I can actually go on a tangent, I'll tell you guys a little side story of what happened to me when I moved to Toronto.
100%. This is all about you, brother.
Yeah, I want to hear stories.
So they're moving from Montreal to Toronto. Moving from Toronto to Montreal is kind of like going from Vancouver to LA. It's a much bigger industry. There's a lot more fish, many more agencies. You don't even know where to begin looking. In Montreal, it's a small pool of 5 or 6 agents you really want to be with. In Toronto, I had a friend that was with this agency called, I don't even know if I should say this because it sounds mean. Whatever. Characters was the name of the agency, and they are like a Goliath, like a mega big agency with many different agents. If you could think of like Ari from Entourage.
Yeah.
So there's like a whole bunch of different agents in one building.
Yeah. Like a group of lawyers.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's actually, you know what?
Like
that's what it felt a lot more like than an agency.
Yeah.
And they, were really excited to sign me, said great things. And then, I just kind of sat on the bench for a while because they had really big heavy hitters that were bringing in the big bucks.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of sitting there like, hey, teacher, may I, is there anything, have you submitted me?
Yeah.
So I think it's really important that no matter what you find, be it a big agent or a small agent, that you have a good relationship with that agent. Right. It doesn't matter the size.
Yeah.
Make sure they cast people. Make sure they have some kind of reach in the industry. and just work with them, because it's that relationship developing that's going to help you kind of launch off to the next big gig or the next big audition or anything.
Yeah. Yeah. What a great point.
Mhm.
Great point. Well, thank you. That was really solid advice, and I think really helpful. There's a lot of people in the stream I know who are interested in getting into voice acting, so I think that's really helpful.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Well, if you have
and
any questions, guys, I mean, I'm not too far away. I'm a hop, skip, and a jump.
I think I may well
the
take your,
interwebs.
like, that is one of the avenues since we left our business. Like, I've always wanted to go into acting, voice acting, and the musicianship. So
You should go into beard acting. You'd fool everyone.
this freaking guy.
Kidding.
Right
I'm
here.
kidding.
Right to your
kidding.
heart.
Do you know what he's gonna? He's gonna go on Twitter afterwards,
Yeah.
and he's gonna be like, "Doc's beard is false.
False.
Don't go on that show. He's a fucking liar. His
He
face
uses
lies.
that Instagram
fake.
filter. It's
Yeah.
deceiving.
Too perfect.
Real piece of shit right
Get
here.
it
Your
outta
beard just
here.
pops up over an eyeball. I knew it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, there's something wrong. Something
Fool the
fishy about
world.
that beard.
Go ahead.
Okay, so another great question about acting. Somebody asked, "What are your greatest strengths and weaknesses as an actor?" If that's okay to ask.
Ooh, yes, that's a good one, because it's kind of psychological in many ways. I would say my greatest strength is my ability to access real, true, raw emotion.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to force it.
Yeah.
And you guys know, like, you'll watch movies or you'll watch a show, and in 2 shows you can have a character going through a struggle and breaking down, but you might only feel one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love that kind of acting. I love the kind of acting that's not pushed. That's not like you're not trying to force an emotion or present the idea of an emotion with
Yeah.
physicality. Like, when you feel stuff, shit changes in your body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you get sad, you get flushed. Your heart rate increases. All these other things follow suit, and you can't fake that.
No.
So I would say my greatest strength is I have access to a lot of emotion, for better or worse. And I'd say my biggest weakness is, it's hard to admit this, but it's very true because it's affected me in audition rooms, is coming into the room and not leaving my personal shit at home.
Baggage at the door.
Yeah, just because one of the things about being able to access emotion so easily is that it shows up a lot in big giant waves. And it's really hard to be able to just ignore that and put it aside and just focus on the fact that I'm here to do a specific job.
Yeah.
So if I have a shitty day or if I've had a shitty week, it's not uncommon that I've gone to an audition and, like, not given it 100%, or maybe self-sabotaged after 1 or 2 takes, saying, you know what, maybe this isn't for me.
Yeah.
You know, fuck me, right? Fuck me
Yeah.
at the end of the day. And
Yeah. I'm so much
it doesn't
like
help
this.
me.
This is how
but
I live my life.
it's, and I'm sure others can
Really,
relate to that,
yeah.
right? Like, self-sabotage is such a
So
thing.
common, yeah.
But really working on that, really working on myself. I mean, and that ties in not just to acting, but just like myself as a person,
Yeah.
as a partner, as a friend.
That's actually my next question.
Yeah.
Was, so you were able to be in touch for your acting roles with your emotions. So you obviously have trained yourself to be like, this is the emotion that I want to feel in this moment, and you can channel that. How does that? What kind of role does that type of control play in your personal relationship? Like, do you still have those moments? Like, being able to control your emotions is huge. Like, I can't even imagine being able to do that in situations, say with your spouse, where it's kind of just a stupid conversation, or you know, are you able to kind of figure those out a little bit easier and avoid the issues if they're stupid, because you're able to control the emotion?
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
The answer is yes and no, but yes, because it's something that I think we've both been working on, and we talk about this all the time. And I wish this is one day included in the school system, you know, along with math and history and English, but just learning how to be a human.
Right.
You know, like learning how to deal with emotional intelligence, you know, what it means to feel things, and how to deal with that, because we were never taught.
No.
Where it's just like, you're angry. Why are you angry? Are you sad? What are you sad about? You have food. People in Africa don't have food. You shouldn't feel this way. And like feeling guilt for feeling emotion, as opposed to just learning how to deal with the emotion that exists.
Right. Yeah.
And I think a big thing for my fiance and I is we both understand human behavior. We know we're both human. that when one person expresses frustration and anger, it's not directed at someone, but we know how to express it. We don't just sit on our emotions.
Yeah.
Like it needs to, like what resists persists, right? So like we need a way to deal with it that's not harmful, that's not hurtful. And it's stuff we still work on because, you know, we're human. We make mistakes. We yell sometimes. We say things in the heat of the moment, but we both know at the end of the day that it's not personal, that your struggles or the stuff that you project onto other people really comes from you and has nothing to do with the other person. And I think there's a level of just accepting that from each other, which is a testament to our relationship and our ability to communicate.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say it takes an incredibly, first of all, takes a very strong emotional person to admit the flaws they have emotionally and work on them without it being a confrontation.
Yeah.
Well, because it just brings you pain, you know, and a lot of your own pain comes from that. And it's like, well, if you want to see things get better, being able to identify what's happening and why is the basis of how to start working on it.
Yeah.
And to have another individual, like I am extremely happy for you to have found an individual who is willing, because I mean, knowing myself, like the amount of shit that I've put on Lala, for example, because I'm working through it and she was strong enough emotionally to kind of accommodate that and vice versa to grow as a person. It's not often you find people like that. And you're absolutely right. This is the kind of shit that they should be teaching in school. But societally, we accept that if you complain, you're a whiner. Yeah. If you don't just go with the flow, you're difficult. Yeah. And if you don't suppress those feelings of any of them, the natural ones, jealousy, anger, upset, if you don't suppress them, you're a whiny bitch.
Yeah, you're overly emotional.
And you're overly emotional. And we've run into that our entire lives. Yeah. And like people with autism specifically. Yeah. Because there's so many uncontrolled emotions growing up and you have no idea why you're doing what you're doing. So to have somebody tell you what you're doing is wrong and growing up with that, a lot of people end up depressed, angry, and suicidal. Yeah. Because they don't understand themselves because nobody else will take the time to be like, oh, it's okay what you're feeling. You just have to channel it differently.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's awful.
Yeah. And they don't teach that. They don't teach that in school. And often what ends up happening is people end up hurting themselves in a hurting themselves and each other in devastating ways because they just don't know how to handle it.
Yeah. But as long as you can draw a linear equation on a graph, you're good.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. As long as you can work out that long division. You're set for life.
It's sad. It's sad, but hopefully I think there's a big, and thanks to things like, I don't give social media much credit, but thanks to things like social media where people are allowed to openly express themselves and share ideas, I think a lot of the mental health aspect of who we are has come up to the forefront in a lot of conversations. And we're having those conversations now, which people didn't used to, which is great. You guys have those conversations with your family, so
regularly. Yeah. It's funny actually. Galar just said, "Was he watching yesterday?"
Yeah, you're just talking about.
Like, was he just doing research on it? Because this is actually.
I've been to your streams before.
Oh,
thank you. Yeah, so it's often, and usually it'll be surrounding, like people will come into our chat and they'll say, "This is going on," and if we have some kind of like, I'm not going to sit here and tell them what to do or give advice if I've never experienced it, but quite often, because I mean, a lot of these emotions. Even though it seems like, you know, we're secluded and we feel these things and nobody else does because everybody else mans the fuck up. Right. We're like, no, we feel that way too. It's universal. And then we can just have this wonderful conversation where it's like, you're not a shitty person. Yeah. Like
those are my favorite streams.
Yeah. Yeah. Aren't they the best?
When it just becomes about a conversation, those are my favorite streams. Yeah. Someone comes in with a problem, they're like, oh, I don't mean to interrupt or I don't want to bother anyone. It's like, no, stop. Yeah. Stop judging your emotion. This is exactly why I'm doing what I'm doing. Yeah. Is to be able to have these conversations with other people going through this thing called life together.
Yeah. Because nobody else is.
We're so much more alike than we are different. We just have to share. If everyone sits on their problems, we're all going to be miserable 24/7.
Yeah. Thanks, society.
Yeah. Yeah. But this is I think one of the beautiful parts about Twitch, and I think like it's untapped, but it has so much potential to help people heal and come together and work through this exact stuff. So it's awesome to know that you're also doing that on your channel.
Yeah,
and that's
I'm trying.
Cool.
I'm trying. Yeah. It's tough.
Get over there, guys. Go drop
those
follows.
It's not always. Yeah, Twitch is a fickle thing. It's sometimes like I try to show up, even give myself some kind of a regular schedule, which I honestly think is one of the reasons I wanted to do. Start streaming was just because it gave me some kind of regularity in my otherwise unregular week. And showing up even if I'm not feeling great or if I'm in a bad, because I'm very, very bad at poker face. Like I wear my
Yes.
heart on my sleeve.
Yes.
You and me,
I just,
brother.
I
You
don't
and me.
want to fake it with anyone ever.
No.
It's just a waste of time.
Yeah.
There are definitely times I show up to the stream and I'm just in a shitty mood.
Yeah.
And I just tell people I'm not really feeling
Not
it
it
today, or
today.
Yeah.
maybe I'm not as chatty.
Yeah.
But then there are days where people come in and I'm feeling good and the conversation's flowing and we're talking about our issues and everyone feels good at the end of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, yes, we
Yeah.
did something today.
We've accomplished. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
That's it. Yeah. And it feels so good, but like we could be sitting here with 20 people, and as long as we've sorted something out that it's all universal and we understand that
Yeah.
everybody feels that way, and they walk away knowing that they are not a fuck up,
Yeah.
that they just are experiencing something that is societally not accepted, but
Yeah.
really it's a natural emotion, and yeah, it's uplifting, and it's you feel like a good Samaritan,
Yeah.
and it's feel good work.
It really
It
is.
helps me feel a sense of purpose, really, is what
Yeah.
it does. It
Yeah.
gives me purpose and it gives me a chance to share and get me off of myself and out of my own head
Yeah.
and just focus on others.
It's the thing that gets me up every morning to stream.
Yeah.
For sure.
It does,
Is
yeah.
knowing that I'm making a difference somewhere else.
Well, we know that people have developed reliance on us to be there for them and to be open and give them a place to be themselves.
Emotional support Canadians.
Yeah, we're the
I feel like
emotional
that's you
support.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying. It's tough.
I'd
It's
like
tough,
to
but I've
take-
got,
Sorry, I'd like to take just a quick minute.
Yeah.
First of all,
Yeah.
Chandra is in chat. You know Chandra personally.
Of course I know Chandra.
Yay!
Hi, Chandra.
I just want to give her another shout out. Chandra introduced us to Jonathan, which I mean, after this conversation, I'm even more happy
So
that we've met you.
thankful. Yeah.
Because, like you said, it's often an incredible feeling meeting like-minded
I
individuals.
love you, Chandra.
We all love you, Chandra.
We do.
Now that being said, one thing that you'll learn about me quickly if you keep coming back is that I pee frequently, and that's
it's
just
time?
a sign of the times.
Is it the moment?
It's the moment where I leave the
That's
interview
okay.
for a moment and go pee-pee.
Okay.
So it's one-on-one.
Enjoy. This is a perfect opportunity because I wanted to get back
what's
a
up?
little bit to your career before we go over onto more fun hobbies and personal stuff. I wanted to know more about your directing, writing, production career. What have you done that you're really particularly proud of, and what drew you to that side of things?
I think I found like filmmaking and directing and writing as a result of just necessity. I think as a young actor with only so much opportunity available to you, you want to create your own work and show yourself that you're able to do more and give yourself opportunities to practice and thrive.
Yeah.
And fortunately for us, I mean, by the time I was 19, 20, cameras were just getting incredible.
Yeah.
You know, they were shooting 24p just like film.
Yeah.
Nonlinear editors were becoming more readily available. The color correction tools were at your fingertips. And just the tools of production became more accessible. So there was a couple actor friends of mine who I became quite close with, and we started developing ideas, and we did a little web series, which led to a short film, which led to a writing partnership that I've been having with one of them in particular for the last decade. My buddy Dan Kay, who's an amazing actor, great voice actor. He's my other regular schedule. We meet Monday to Friday. In a good week, we meet Monday to Friday, and we start at 10, and we write until about 1.
Wow.
And it's been that
Beautiful.
way for almost a decade. And right now we have a short film that's doing the festival circuit. We just finished our first pass at a feature film that we hope to apply for funding in the near future.
That's
and
so
we're
exciting.
developing a television show to pitch
Dang.
to a few networks. Just prepping the Bible, which I don't know if anyone in the chat knows what a Bible is, but if anyone here wants to make a show and you want to pitch to a network, you got to put together a thing called like a Bible, which is basically like your synopsis, the treatment, the engine of the show, your list of characters, secondary characters, locations, a season arc, a springboard, which is like episodic elements, so that they can kind of like see your show in a package.
In a package.
So that's what we're working on right now, and that's proudest to date. It's hard to say because everything's kind of been a work in progress and leading to the next steps. But I guess the film that we just put into festivals now, called Rent Due, which is a takeoff of our original web series Cubed, about just 3 roommates living together. None of them can hold a job. The premise is very ordinary. Like, they can't hold a job and they have trouble paying rent, and it's how do they find the means to make money
Right.
in creative and silly ways.
Oh, that's amazing.
And this short film is kind of like an absurd, condensed version of that same story with 3 roommates.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
If you ever need a pasty white guy, call me.
A pasty white guy.
are you in the union? Can I use you?
I will be in the union if you need me.
I will sign up for that union.
That's one of the fickle things, though, and
too.
it's like the union is great, but it's difficult and limiting in some ways because a lot of the time you meet people you want to work with, but if they're not in the union, like you're not allowed to
Yeah.
be on camera with them, to
Very
be recorded
strict.
with them.
Yeah.
And that's is ACTRA that?
Actress that. Yeah, I wonder, one time we were doing a theater performance and there was an ACTRA fellow. He was unionized and he had to change his name to do the live performance because technically
Yeah.
he was not allowed to do that performance in a community theater because he was a unionized actor. It's very strict. It's very
Well,
strict.
Tell you what.
Yeah.
Tell you what.
You can change your name.
Yeah, I'll look into ACTRA
Yeah.
because it's something that I seriously do want to pursue.
You do.
And I'll keep you posted for the future.
There you go. There
That'd
you
be
go.
great.
Yeah.
If you need help, let me know.
I will.
So cool.
I don't know. I don't have a fucking clue what I'm
you're
doing.
Yeah.
No, but getting in the union, by the way, and this isn't to discourage anyone, but it's a silly thing, and here's why. So when I first got with my agent, I think it took me roughly 6 months to a year to land my first gig, and one of the reasons it's so difficult to get in a union, and it's kind of a catch-22, but productions can only hire union actors. If they want to hire a non-union actor, they have to show the union that they've auditioned these many actors that are union. And this other person who's auditioned is the one that they want. But they first have to go through having auditioned all these people
Yeah.
and be like, no, they're all great, but this is the person
is
we
the one I
want.
want.
And then they have to pay for some kind of waiver or fee to get you on. And then you get your first credit. And then once you get your first credit, you can accumulate the rest and you're a full member.
Right.
So to get the first job, you have to be in the union, but if you're not in the union, you can't get a job.
Yeah.
So it's that first
messed
credit
up.
is like the most difficult, but then after that, the doors, I
Wide
wouldn't say they fly open. They're like, oh, jobs everywhere. No,
Yeah.
but like it's a little bit easier.
Yeah.
To get them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. Really cool. I wanted to ask the same question about other filmography that you've been in. So, like, you've been in a lot of things that people recognize, like Warm Bodies and Beastly.
Yeah.
So, apart from Watch Dogs,
Hold on. He laughed at Warm Bodies. So just
You did.
let's hear this.
Is there a story?
There's
Oh,
gotta be.
I mean, well, Beastly, I had a one-liner, and Warm Bodies, I think I had a two-liner, and then I got killed right off the top.
Oh no!
But I got to spend some time with Nicholas Holt and
That's cool.
and Dave Franco and them, and they were
Yeah.
all really cool. And,
Yeah, that's awesome.
Really,
yeah.
really cool.
Yeah.
Is there
Yeah,
another
it was fun.
experience like that you're particularly proud of? Another acting job?
Yes, I got to play. The show in itself is not a big deal, but the character I got to play was something I loved. And I don't know what this says about me, but playing bad guys is really fun.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Just being able to take out all of your petty, passive aggressive, just your anger, like the deep underlying anger that you have for just things in general. You get to really explore that and express that in these characters, and you don't have to worry about it. You don't have
Yeah.
to be apologetic. You can be your ugly human self that you
Yeah.
don't show to the world,
Yeah.
and you're getting paid for that.
Yeah.
Let it out. Yeah. It's like a release.
So it was a TV movie called, and I think it's different in the States, but in Canada it was called, oh my God, I can't even remember what it's called.
Was it the radio talk show killer?
Yes,
Hey!
that's the one. Radio Silence. Radio Silence.
Oh, different radio. Oh,
Yeah.
but it.
Yes.
Yes,
So they changed the name of it.
they did. Yeah.
Yeah, in the States it's called something wonderful. But that was a character. I basically played the son of a radio station owner.
Cool.
And I was like this 30-year-old guy in a suit, and I was everyone's boss. And I just get to take the piss out of this this 50-year-old actor. I forget his name now. He's a wonderful actor who's been in a bunch of things. But just being across from this like 50-year-old man who's vulnerable, and knowing that I can do anything and say anything and be anything with this guy, and be super patronizing,
Yeah.
and just enjoy being a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Was that John Ralston?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Filling in the blanks.
Nice.
And it was just it's just good, man. It's good to explore characters who are in pain, and don't necessarily deal with it in healthy ways, because it's almost cathartic in some ways. Yeah, I would say that's about it, really.
There's a question that came in from chat. Is there like a well-known, like a famous villain or even a hero that you would just dream to play? Maybe it's already been done or whatever, but is there someone that, like, your ideal role?
Oh my God, I don't know.
It's so hard.
That's such a hard question. People in my Discord and in stream ask me sometimes, because they know I'm a filmmaker. They'll say, like, what's your favorite movie? Who's your favorite director? What's your favorite song?
And you're like,
whenever someone asks me for my favorite, I immediately go into panic mode.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
I like it all.
What's something that you've considered?
I can't think of it in the moment, but
like you've seen yourself as?
I mean, I would just play to my strengths.
Yeah.
I see myself as like the best friend character. I see myself as a supportive character. I don't see myself as a lead. Not because I have any doubts in my ability. I just don't see that in my personality. And I really like characters that are in pain, because I can just tap into that so easily.
I could see you as a lead in like a horror movie. Like a B horror movie, you know what I mean? Like, Texas Chainsaw Massacre or something like that. I could see you being like, the guy who was like, picked on or whatever. Like he wasn't the alpha, but the football jock gets murdered first, and suddenly the alpha or the beta becomes the alpha, and he's like, "I'll get you out of here." And I could see that.
I'll take care of you. Yeah.
We're watching The Man in the High Castle right now. There's one actor whose gig I would love to, and I think his name is Rufus Sewell? No, not Rufus. Excuse me. Brennan Brown? No. Have you guys seen the show?
No. That's we want to. It's on our list of.
Such a good premise.
Yeah.
Man in the High Castle cast.
So anybody who doesn't know Man in the High Castle, it is built on the premise that the Germans won World War II.
Yeah. It's on Amazon.
So the actor's name is Luke Kleintank. And he plays, well, I don't want to give anything away, but he plays a very conflicted character. And he's good and bad at the same time, and I just think it's brilliant. It's so brilliant to explore that in between of like what is right at the end of the day, because right is subjective, and what do you choose to do, and how do you choose to do it. And so I think definitely I like conflicted characters. I think they're interesting, and I feel for them.
Yeah. It's interesting listening to you speak and see you, because there's like a bajillion roles in my head going. I'm like, I could fit him into this role.
Yeah.
I could.
Well, then you still need to get into casting. Let's talk.
Yeah.
We've talked about that too, but no, like honestly, I think you would pull off, and correct me if I'm wrong, the normal guy. Like, you think he's normal, he's everything, but he actually, like, murders people in his basement.
He's Dexter.
Yeah. Like, you just seem like the nicest fucking guy up front. It's like, nah, he would never do that.
Yeah. I can see you pulling off a role. Really
like,
that'd be cool.
Have you seen You?
Yes.
Oh, what a great show.
I think you could pull off that role.
Yeah, like Guy Next Door, but...
Love that, and it's so interesting.
Yeah.
And so creepy, and so, ooh, yum.
Yeah, that's just John for real, says Chandra. Yeah. Check out his basement. It's fucked, but he's the nicest guy, so it's totally okay.
I love that show. That's a great example of stuff that interests me for sure.
Yeah, and I could totally see you rocking that type of role.
Yeah, that would be a great role. Somebody asked the question, have you been in anything with like a well-known actor or actress, or if not, what is your most exciting or most honored interaction that you've had with another person on a set?
We already said Dave Franco, so that's pretty sick.
That was a pretty sick meeting, yeah.
I mean, that's an interesting question. Honestly, and this isn't... Sometimes I forget. I have to kind of look
back, yeah.
Because my memories are not the best.
One thing, actually, while you're looking, do you find...
Man Seeking Woman. Okay, yeah.
I know that, growing up as an actor or wanting to be an actor or a musician or whatever you want to be, you look to the greater ones as celebrities or as like bigger than life. Once you start working on projects, though, and I found this myself working with people musically, it kind of removes that awe.
Stigma. Yeah.
Yeah,
Do
definitely.
you find that when you're working with people at that point, you're like, they're just another person. They're just like, I don't look at them as a celebrity. They're doing the same profession as me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But I think like the idea for me of celebrity changed. It went from this kind of inaccessible pedestal, superhuman, larger than life, to just someone whose work I respect and appreciate.
Mm-hmm.
So it turned from like fandom to like just sheer admiration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and I didn't work with him, but I met John Rhys Davies in the green room at Montreal Comic Con, and
Cool.
there wasn't anything really to say to him, but I needed to let him know that the fact that he took part in a trilogy that literally changed the course of my life, you know, meant everything to me. And I just wanted to say thank you, you know, for doing the work you do and inspiring others to try and go after the impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's really what I feel like whenever I see artists or filmmakers or photographers or anyone who creates something of themselves that moves me or connects with me. It's just thank you for doing that thing and not going another path, because by you doing the impossible, you give everyone else the permission to try. But I would say just working on set, like I don't get starstruck or anything, but I do for directors or people who I want to like me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where it changes, right? It's like you want something from them
Yeah.
as opposed to just sharing something of yourself with them.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I can see that. And you'd want to sell yourself, especially to people
Yeah.
like that, and be like, hey, listen, I grew up watching you and I want to be in your movie.
Yeah. So like directors, I get a little more like, ooh, my behavior changes. I feel my heart rate go up and my blood pressure increasing. But with actors, it's more like, okay, cool. Like, what is this ping pong game going to feel like?
Yeah, working off of each other.
What is this thing? Yeah. Yeah.
Was there a defining moment in your childhood, like a movie you watched or an actor or a director that made you say, I want to be an actor?
Yeah. Yeah. My brother's best friend growing up, his name is Kenny Vaddis, and he was a Montreal actor who was in a bunch of TV shows and movies in Montreal, one of them being The Santa Claus with Tim Allen.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I remember being like an impressionable 10-year-old boy. I was very heavy. I was a very, very heavy child and got made fun of a lot. And I wanted nothing more in the world than to be admired and loved and cherished by everyone. Like I needed that validation. I needed that acceptance.
Right.
So I started taking acting classes as a result of seeing the stuff that he was doing, thinking like, oh my God, you know, if I get to do this shit, then people are going to like me and they're going to want to talk to me and they're not going to make fun of me anymore. Over time, that evolved into something much deeper. But I mean, that really was, and truthfully, the basis of how it all started.
No,
Was
that's
just
that's
wanting
amazing.
to be liked.
I think it's way more meaningful when it isn't somebody who's famous or somebody who really like. I didn't look at Arnold Schwarzenegger and be like, oh, I want to do that. Like it was somebody personal to you and somebody that sparked that.
Yeah.
And I find that when that is what it is, and you have a closer relation to the spark, it's more personal and it becomes a bigger thing to build on. Like I found that in my own art as well. So yeah, no, that's really neat, and that's an awesome answer.
That is.
How did you start doing art? What got you into it?
My family first and foremost. So when I was a kid, my dad is a Beatles fanatic.
Nice.
And
New
so
documentary coming out, Peter Jackson. Check it out.
there you go.
Right.
But it ended. So I would go on deliveries with my old man. Like I basically was with him all the time before I was in school permanently, and all we would listen to was the Beatles. And so I learned about the Beatles. Like I know their entire history because my old man is like a fanatic, like a historian, if you will, of the Beatles. It was his favorite band. So when I learned about the individuals in the band and how they inspired, because my dad's a bass player. My grandpa's actually retired now, but he was a drummer for big bands in the 60s and 70s, and he was a top person at Sabian cymbals. And
Ooh.
yeah, so he met everybody, and we would learn all these stories and stuff. But so he was an insight to the music world. And then I learned about the Beatles. So like, Paul McCartney and John Lennon were my dad's heroes. And I was like, okay, like there must be a good reason for that if it's my dad's heroes. And so I jumped onto that bandwagon and I saw what they were doing in the writing process and how they work together. And I was like, man, that just seems like so natural and so organic to create music with another person like that. And it inspired me to write and eventually share with people that, music and have it influence people the same way that the Beatles influenced my dad.
Yeah.
And because I'm like, I'm gonna make him proud. I'm gonna and that was always my biggest thing. And I was like,
I was waiting to hear that. I was like, yeah, this is beautiful.
Yeah. So it was, and what was really neat, and one of my full circle moments was my grandparents, when they traveled for Sabian, they would stop off all around the world at Hard Rock cafes, which actually is interesting because you're holding a Hard Rock Cafe mug.
Yes, amazing.
So everywhere they went, it was Hard Rock Cafe because it was music related, and often the Hard Rock Cafe was close to the centers in which they were doing these shows for Sabian. They were like sales shows. And so it was really neat because in 2011, I think it was, or 2012, I actually ended up playing during Canadian Music Week at the Hard Rock Cafe in Toronto. So I got like this picture.
Come on.
Yeah, right? And so, and like original music and finally getting to play in front of people. And so I got this big framed picture of me playing at the Hard Rock Cafe, signed it, and gave it to them.
Sick.
Yeah.
Right? Full circle.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So, and then like it took off from there. But yeah, that was like the defining music of. It was like, it's my dad's thing, it's my grandpa's thing, it's my family's thing. It's obviously in my blood, and I took off from there, and it just became my whole world, my entire world.
Yeah.
Do you still get to play?
Oh, well, I mean, not during COVID, but like I have an active band. My new album comes out in June, so I'm actually releasing my new single in a couple days on Valentine's Day.
Yo, snap! Congrats, that's exciting.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And the band is we're working on our sophomore album now, our second release, which is coming together incredibly. And so I'm very much music first still. Like I'm an active musician. We use this platform to share it, which is incredible too. I had no idea we could do that. That's it. That's my story.
Lala, do you have any creative, do you like to stretch your creative muscle?
Oh gosh, yeah. No, I've been in community theater since I was a little girl, and I competed professionally in theater throughout most of my life until I got onto Twitch and then started doing this and loved it even more than live acting. But it was interesting. Like my parents put me in absolutely everything as a little girl growing up. Like they just wanted something that would stick, that I would like. And
That's
I found
fortunate.
I was very fortunate, and I found acting. And I'm very shy. I don't like putting myself in the center of attention. But when I acted, I could take myself out of who I was and be someone different. And I didn't like myself as a child. I didn't know myself, and nor as a young adult. But acting, I felt free, and I just couldn't.
Why do you think that is? Can we hold on?
Yeah, you want to dissect the brain of Lala?
Yeah. So you said that you could be someone that's completely different than yourself, but it also made you feel free.
Yeah. It was exactly that, and it was. I was able to.
Could it be that acting gave you permission to
be myself a little bit?
To be who you are a little bit more?
It did, and I can see it now, because a lot of the times the person I was on stage is the person I am on stream, depending on the role, of course. But I'm able to just, I don't know, put more of myself out there into the world, pretending to be someone else. But I couldn't do that as me. I don't want people to know me.
And that's the saddest truth, but it's true. And I think so many people feel that same way, that they have to present themselves a certain way or be a certain thing. Yet we are craving watching reality TV so we can see human in all of its beauty and all of its grotesqueness.
Reality TV for that reason.
We are addicted to real humans.
Yeah.
And we deny it from each other
in
place of just being what we're supposed to be.
Exactly.
And it's crap.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons I don't know about you guys, but I have a hard time making real, true friendships because I smell bullshit a mile away, and I accept nothing but your full truth, yourself.
Genuineness.
It's
that was such a roadblock for you.
It was such a roadblock.
So
to be genuinely me.
To be transparent, we were both in broken marriages prior to being together, and we were very, very compartmentalized to like a sickening bad degree. And where was I going with that? Thanks, autism.
No, take your time.
One thing that I can build off of that is it was Twitch. Besides each other, Twitch was something that really helped me find who I was genuinely.
Yeah.
You have to be honest on Twitch. Well, at least I do anyway. Like, I can't be anything
yeah.
else but myself when faced with a live audience.
Well, and we do it every day.
We do. That helped too.
Like, you can't pretend to be somebody every single day.
You
like,
can't.
it's impossible.
Yeah.
So people do get to learn the real us. Where was I going with that?
I don't know.
We just got talking about just being like, I can't make friends easily. You came out of a really bad.
That's what it is.
Bad relationships and marriages and.
Thank you. So what I was going to say was having those marriages break down, and our workplaces break down, and basically everything fell apart around us. And you learned, especially the hard way, that people are not what they seem.
That was a really hard lesson.
And so Lala growing up, and it was nice in the time of being a child, of being like trusting, and you give everybody the benefit of the doubt. But as people grow up and get set into their own ways, you start to learn, and I learned this early, unfortunately, but it was good because I could help guide Lala. But people are conniving. People have hidden agendas. Not everybody.
No.
But the ones who are really outgoing, who can use you for their own benefit, are.
I didn't realize that till I was 30. I didn't realize people were capable.
No, but Lala mistook
naive.
that for true friendship or people who truly did care.
Yeah.
So the second Lala would stand up for herself and be like, "Hey, listen, this isn't cool." They'd be like, "Fuck you." Whatever, like, you're stupid. Like, that's not you. You're full of shit. Like, that's, and she ran into that to such a crazy degree 3 years ago that she cut herself off from everybody. Like, she didn't have any friends. She had acquaintances and people that she would chit chat with, but no, like, we would be like, "Who's your friend?" She'd be like, "Nobody. I don't have any friends."
I had to let
breaks my
go.
heart.
I had to let go. It was an incredible transformation though. Like, I left my marriage, I left my job, I redefined my relationship with my parents, I left all of my friendships because none of them were good, were healthy.
No.
But now I can't imagine being happier. Like, I know
Well, and
who I
we
am.
have real friends
And
now.
we have real friends.
Yeah.
It was a good journey, though a difficult one.
So, but my point is that, we know that feeling of being cut off from people because you can't trust people. And it's kind of like you paint everybody with the same color after a while because you're like, every
so
time I
scared to
put myself
trust
out
again.
there, I get screwed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I just call it. I mean, this isn't the same thing as what you were saying, but just being able to read people, and you know when someone is giving you their truth, and when they're when there's ulterior motives, like you can smell it. There's like an energy or a vibe that just changes, and you're like, you're not giving me your full truth right now. Like there's something else going on that you're not dealing with, or you're not sharing with me, and I can't. I have no patience for that because I fight for people. I want to fight for you when you won't even fight for yourself.
Yeah.
And it drives me nuts.
Yeah.
That people feel like they just can't express or be who they are.
Be who they really are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It kills me.
I like this conversation.
Me too. Well,
Thank you for having
it's hitting home.
It really is.
But we have also developed and have been able to avoid toxicity.
Yeah.
Because of that, it's patterns.
You had to learn.
You know, it's all patterns. You
Yeah.
see things like one person does it, every person who is in that mindset or not
do
a
the same
developed
thing.
person expresses it the same way. So it gets to a point where you're like, nah. I know what this is.
But this goes back to the other issue of people not knowing how to be human, how to deal with
Yeah.
emotion,
How
how
to
to have
deal with
emotional
emotion.
intelligence. Like
Yeah.
they themselves learn from their parents who are broken.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then they become who they are. They don't treat themselves or work on it. They have children, wash, rinse, repeat.
Yeah.
And it's like we need to break the cycle by
to break the cycle.
bringing awareness to this. Like this
Yeah.
is something that should be developed in very early stages of school
Yeah.
and carried throughout.
God, get out of my head!
It's true.
We're just, but that's the thing. We are alike. We are all alike. We've gone
We
through different experiences, but a similar world.
Yeah.
You know, we have different pains, but we understand what pain is.
Yeah.
You know, so we have so much in common. We just need to be able to share that with each other
Yeah.
and realize, oh my God, we are the same.
Yeah, it's true for
We just
humanity.
went through different shit.
Just
Yeah.
went through different shit, and I think it's just the difference between people who've addressed that shit and gotten to know themselves versus the people who haven't yet.
Well,
And
that's
it's really
it,
hard to do that.
Yeah.
It is. Well, admitting your faults, admitting where you fucked up through
Yeah,
life.
God.
Jesus. Like
Yeah.
that's the hardest thing. But once you do and you're able to forgive yourself and move past it, it's so liberating.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
you can actually pay attention to shit that matters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, the feels, right? Everybody take a
Yeah.
deep breath.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
I am so glad we had you on.
Yeah, this has just been awesome. I love when an interview, like we haven't really truly met, but just the conversation just happens.
Yeah.
It's great. I love it.
One thing I would like to put out there, we don't have to book it because we're pretty busy for the next little bit, but I think having Jonathan on for a Talk It Out Tuesday.
Yeah.
some point
I would love to, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm busy with projects every single day, movie this
we'll
week, TV
book
show
it.
that week.
Yeah, we
video.
would work around your
We'll book
schedule.
it.
He's not kidding. He's not. That's,
He's a busy guy.
I'm kidding.
I mean, not to be humble or anything, but
No, I'm very, very available.
no, that would be amazing. I think it would be very beneficial for
Yeah.
our viewers, our community.
I think so. That's super important.
Let's get back on track with the interview, though.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Okay. Well, here's a feel-good topic of conversation that I really want to get into. Maybe the most important one, and that's your dogs. Your
I was just gonna say puppies.
Right? Is it puppy time?
Is it puppies?
Time. All right. First of
I have
all,
one sleeping on the floor right there.
Oh
and the other
my
one's upstairs.
gosh.
I heard a collar,
I
and I was like, yeah,
I hear a dog.
That's a dog collar.
Go to
Yeah.
John's Instagram right now and take a look at those puppies. It'll change your life. You'll
Let me
put a
see.
smile
Where's
on
my
your
phone?
face.
Here it is.
Oh yeah. Let's
They
show off
they
these
are the
cool
joys
puppies.
of my life.
How many do you have? Two?
Two
Yeah.
huskies, which is like 5 normal dogs.
Yes, yes, it is.
Yeah.
The energy is.
5 normal dogs.
It is. It's actually kind of crazy.
Cody and
'cause
Chester.
Our first husky Chester, who's now 14 years old.
Wow.
Who's this guy right here?
Oh,
You see this
my
puppers.
God! Look at the face. Oh. Just squish it.
He's like the anti-husky. He's just been kind of like a bro my
Yeah.
whole life. He just kind of hangs out, doesn't say much, doesn't do much, not super active.
He's a lump.
And then
He's your person.
yeah, and then
He's your
Cody,
thing. Yeah.
who we adopted at 2 months old, he's like husky turned up to 11.
Oof.
Uh-oh.
I don't know why they just didn't make 10 louder, but he's an 11.
He's an 11. Yep. Mhm.
He's an 11.
Well, I guess
so-
you're very lucky to have gotten
Both ends.
both
Yeah.
ends of that. Then, yeah.
Yeah, he's crazy, but he's wonderful and super cute, and he's a big snuggler, and every morning he comes up on the bed and replaces one of our pillows at the headboard, and we just lay with him for a little bit.
Oh my
gosh.
God.
How old is he?
He's he's turning 2 in a month.
Oh, he's just a young guy.
So he's just a
Yeah.
bebe.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's still a babe. He's still a
Aw.
baby.
What's your
Yeah.
favorite part about owning your dogs? Having dogs in your life.
I guess that's
Tough
an
with
interesting
animals.
question.
I know.
Like I can give a. I mean,
They provide so
They're-
much.
that's the thing. It's like, what don't they give you? It's
Yeah.
like I prefer animals to people, especially huskies. I mean, huskies, they hide absolutely nothing. If Cody wants something, or he uses his vocabulary, he expresses everything. There's
Yeah.
no filter. And it's just a constant sense of joy and laughs and frustrations for sure.
Mhm.
But it gives me purpose. It gives me
Mhm.
something to love other than myself. It gives
Mhm.
me a reason to get out of my head. It
Mhm.
gives me a reason to provide it, and they're really soft to touch.
Mhm.
They
Yeah.
really
They
are.
just-
I mean, it's just
they're
like
really
a blankie.
fluffy.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been
You
with
guys-
a few ladies, but I'm going to
But
tell
the
you,
huskies
none
are
of
the
them are as
fluffiest,
furry
yeah.
and fluffy and cuddly as a dog.
Yeah. Do you guys have any pets?
Yeah, we have two boyos, two cats.
Yeah.
Frank and Ollie.
Yeah.
They believe they're dogs.
They do. They are very big presences in our life. They're always with us. They're always near us. They're constantly talking to us and
Actually, yeah, Taco actually just put our link in for they have their own
they have
at
their
Instagram.
own Instagram. They're just
Francis and Oliver.
they're bigger than life, and
Yeah.
I wouldn't change anything about it. They're adorable.
Their personalities are they're
huge.
incredible.
Oh, do they snuggle together?
Oh yes.
Oh God, yeah. They snuggle with
That's
everything.
my favorite thing ever.
Yeah.
They do this weird thing with their tails where they like
intertwine them.
yeah, they'll intertwine tails while they eat and
Yeah.
like
No,
So-
the
oh,
yin and
they're-
yang.
yes,
They
do.
are, yeah. They're brothers.
They
They've
are
always
brothers,
been
yeah.
together, and oh God,
That's so cute.
yeah.
But yeah, they are just so like if they went outside, they would be dead for sure. Like
And-
they're
These fellows are money too.
Thank you. Yeah, I fancy myself also a bit of a photographer.
Of
I
our
think so.
cats,
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. They hug and they hug us, and I think that's one of the most amazing. I didn't know cats could hug, but these.
I've had cats all my life
these
and they've
guys
never
do.
hugged.
They hug.
Ollie
oh,
hugs.
Man.
So Anna is follows this person on Instagram who, I don't know if you've ever seen this, but it's pretty incredible. They set up like buttons all over the floor in their house. Each button has one recorded word. So like water, ice, pet,
Shut
scratch,
up.
outside. And they've taught their animals like 50 to 60 different words. So the
No.
pet, when they want something, they go up and they put like water, ice, and then they'll put ice in the water. Or like, Mama, where? Oh, Mama's at work right now. Mama, where?
Cats?
She's not here right now. So like the animals are communicating
Yeah.
with
My mind
their
is
humans.
blown.
When ours do. It's
do.
so bizarre.
You
Like
can tell what they want.
For sure. I just
Yeah.
mean it's
But
weird to
that's-
have them like communicate.
to
with
actually
language.
use like a man-made system to
language.
communicate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Like, you
I
know
wanna
those
see
staple
that.
buttons where you push it and it's
Yeah.
like, that was easy.
That
It's
was
just
easy.
those. It's those on cardboard littered with pre-programmed words.
Wow.
I bet you we could get Frank to do that.
I want to get Frank to do that.
It's
That's so cool.
I don't know what the name is, but actually, Anna, are you here?
Anna!
That's a no. All right.
Oh,
Anna,
darn.
are you okay?
Send us the link if you get a chance. We'll share it around.
I will.
That's
I'll
so
look it up
cool.
later on.
That's so cool. Gosh.
Yeah, it's super
Frank
cool.
would do that, guaranteed.
Yeah. I mean, I know dogs could be trained for that. I
Yeah.
always wonder if it was achievable
Oh,
for
cats too.
I believe.
Cats, they
Well,
can do it, eh?
you see the way that
Yeah,
Frank
yeah, yeah.
obey- like,
Oh, there you
Frank,
are.
come here.
Hey,
Come here.
what's the name of the Instagram person you follow
Come on.
that has the buttons for the talking animals?
You want to show yourself? Here, we'll show Jonathan.
Catman John.
Catman John.
Oh, kitty. Oh,
They're very well
we used to
behaved.
have a cat.
No.
So
So you
the-
want me,
Passed
Daddy?
away.
This is
Oh,
Frank.
no.
Oh, you're so cute.
Frank.
Frank, no. Don't come to
you're
Mommy.
oh my
Over
god,
there.
that's adorable.
And then I put it back to me. He's like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Animals are life.
Animals are life. Oh
Yeah.
gosh,
Animals
they
are
are.
life.
They are.
Frank, come on down
They
though.
are.
In your chair.
It's one of if somebody comes to me and they have depression, I always ask, do you have an animal?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You need an
Cute.
animal. You
Who's
need an
my
animal
Oh,
in your life.
boy?
Yeah.
Who's my good boy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, animals are life. So
They
the
are.
next question, off of bridging off the dogs, is what are some of your hobbies or your passions outside of your acting career and your doggos, of course.
What are my passions? I mean, I love music, kind of like Doc here. I play. I'm on my drums every day for at least an hour.
This excites me.
Wow.
If for nothing else, just to get some exercise and
Yeah.
stay loose. And I used to be in a band, and I used to write songs with them and sing.
Nice.
Kind of music?
What kind of music? People would describe like my band's music as kind of like Chili Peppers meets John Mayer meets Incubus.
Oh.
I mean, it's
so-
not uncommon that I get that Incubus reference thrown at me.
You get a lot
So
of
just,
Incubus.
just throwing that out there.
That's really cool.
But yeah, I mean, that's always kind of been my jam. I don't know if there's a lot else. I mean, I'm a gamer. I'm like most of you guys here. Like, yes,
Yeah.
I'm an actor, but I'm a gamer first and foremost. Like, I love hanging out on my computer. I mentioned before, I met two of my closest friends playing games, so I'm
Yeah.
on the computer a lot.
So the important question.
That's awesome because we got a lot of gaming questions
Yeah.
to come.
What
Yeah,
is-
yeah, yeah.
what is the game?
Yeah, your game, the game that you
That's so
love.
hard to answer.
I think we got to get him into Warframe.
I've never played it, but I'm of two minds because as someone who grew up watching their bigger brother play games, those games are like ingrained in my fiber.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I used to watch my brother play Final Fantasy 3, Chrono Trigger, Secret of Mana,
Oh, good.
you know, a lot of Mario
That's the
Kart,
best.
a lot of Super
Sorry,
Mario.
that gets me excited.
You had to get up.
Yeah.
Are you going to get a cartridge?
No, he's just so excited he had to get up.
But like that
Chrono
that to me
Trigger
was
is
it.
my, like,
That to me
all-time
was it. Yeah,
favorite
Chrono
ever.
Trigger was amazing.
Yeah.
Secret of Evermore, and the Metroid series just
Yep.
was my jam, and it's still most of the reasons I buy Nintendo systems when they come out is to play like those 1, 2, or 3
Yeah.
games.
Yeah. Same.
And most everything else is just on the computer. But if I had to pick one game, damn, that's really tough. It would be a toss-up between like, fuck, how do I choose a Zelda? That's like choosing your favorite child.
Okay, so we'll clear out a space here because you're gonna fit in just fine.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll let you move right in.
But like Link to the Past, I mean, Zelda,
Yeah.
Ocarina of Time.
That's
Kidding me?
that's the
Yeah.
pinnacle is Ocarina, I believe. Like that's essentially number one on most people's list.
Yeah, I mean, but it's when the technology changed, and this was the first time you were experiencing Zelda in a 3-dimensional
3D.
environment.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was huge. Like when the
Mario
the
64.
Koopa just came out of the green thing and the camera spun around Mario and you're like, what the hell
Yeah.
is going on?
Yeah.
I
How
can
do I move
swing
this
him
thing?
around.
Yeah.
What is
Yeah.
this? Yeah.
Mario has a backside? What?
Yeah.
Um,
yeah. And it's
It
supple.
was, yeah.
Yeah.
What about you guys? What's your jam?
Well, I mean, right now, like we're partnered with Warframe, and Outriders and a new game, so they're kind of like at the top of our list in terms of what we're playing, just to rep.
No, but you.
But
You.
well, okay, so right now, okay, well, I'll go back before we say right now.
Yeah, you have a lot.
I've been a
long
gamer
history.
since the beginning, like since the very beginning.
Atari days.
yeah.
Yep.
And then Nintendo, so Mario 3, of course. And then Super Nintendo, you had like Super Metroid, as you said. You had Mario RPG, Mario Kart.
Chrono Trigger is one of
Chrono
your faves
Trigger
of
is
all time.
like my all-time favorite RPG.
Yeah.
Earthbound was like
Yeah.
a
Earthbound,
staple.
yes.
It's like a massive staple in my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
And then moving on, like I followed the Nintendo systems pretty much all the way up. So like moving into 64 and then GameCube and all those. So yeah, I've got a long history of love for Nintendo. Like that, the nostalgia that they sell, I'm on the team.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many member berries there.
Yeah, good reference.
Nice.
I like this guy. I remember.
Member?
God of War is a huge thing in my life. Like since
God
the
of War's
beginning.
great.
Yeah, I love the lore. I love the characters. I love the build. I love everything about God of War.
Yeah.
Right now we're playing through Borderlands 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the art style of Borderlands is just insanely beautiful. So I've got a real crush on that.
And then the Souls games
And the Souls games I love the
just
Souls games.
captured you. Yeah. It's hard to limit it, isn't it?
Yeah, you know what?
Yeah, nowadays
Everything.
it's hard.
Now I feel
There's
bad
too
for asking
many.
you the question.
Yeah.
Because
it's
I can
so
barely
hard.
answer the question.
Yeah.
I'm like,
It's
oh, but
hard,
there's
though.
this.
But like now it's
Yeah.
it's even harder.
Yeah.
There's so
So
much. Like
much.
I ask friends for suggestions for games, and it's like I don't have. It's like Netflix.
yeah.
Can't.
There's just too many. There's so much good content out there. It's you
Yeah.
don't have time for it all.
Well, and you
don't,
recommend
no.
something, they're like, well, I want to finish watching this anyway. So,
Yeah.
and then they don't actually end up getting to. I love that Netflix recommendations that you don't actually watch.
Yeah, you don't get to. Yeah.
Like, let's be real, we all do it.
I
about
came
you?
to video games so much later in life,
Yeah.
and I think what captured my heart was Tomb Raider. So
Nice.
I played through all of Lara Croft. So RPGs was really where I started, and then I got into Uncharted. But then I found Metroidvania, and we fell in love with couch co-ops.
Yeah.
So anything that we can consume that's a couch co-op, we do, because gaming together is like the ultimate experience.
Same,
in my
same.
opinion.
And I got to tell you, so in my past relationship, plural,
Mhm.
I never had a girlfriend who would play video games with me. So no matter, like they had all, I know,
It's tragic.
I know.
Yeah.
So I had all these games saved up that I never played that I wanted to play. The only other person I could play with is my brother, and we never made time for that. So I had like a massive list of games that Lala has had to endure. Now the beautiful part about it, though,
Not endure.
well,
I love it.
the beautiful part about it is that she has never played any of these games, nor
Oh,
is it-
you get to experience it for the first time,
And he
Yeah.
gets to watch it. Yeah.
So I'm
and you
like-
get to experience it through her.
Yeah.
Oh,
exactly.
He loves it.
So
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm Sherpaing her
yeah.
through video games and movies and
movies.
TV shows.
Pop culture. So my parents didn't expose me to anything pop culture growing up. So a lot of like we'll go through 90s or early 2000s references,
Yeah.
and I know none of them. So like since in my 30s, I've been exposed to Die Hard and Terminator
Yeah,
and
like all those
all of
90s
the
trope movies that we
OGs.
loved as kids.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've just been exposed to now, and it's fun.
Yeah, and what's really neat though is it doesn't just pertain to music. It doesn't just pertain to like music too. So we do deliveries to kind of pad our income for Amazon. So during that 3-hour window,
That's a good idea, actually.
that we
I should
go
look at
out.
that.
Oh, it's
It's
worthwhile.
actually fun if you like driving
Yeah.
around with your partner.
Yeah.
But I'm doing these classes for her now of like music
Yeah.
from like late 80s, 90s, 2000s, like the stuff that was like a big deal when we were kids.
Yeah.
That I grew up that are all like massive things to me now, and it's really neat because it's all new to her. So
Yeah,
for,
it's
the
fun.
good example is like Metallica. We've gone through Metallica because Lola's best friend now loves Metallica.
Is Lars a drummer? Can he play?
Well, let's be real. He's a bit odd. But no, it's neat because it's all this stuff that I've listened to since high school.
Yeah.
And it's all, like introducing it to somebody as if they've never heard it before is
Yeah.
an incredible feeling. Plus, it makes me feel like the smartest guy in the fucking world.
Right. It does,
Like I have
doesn't it?
all this useless pop culture knowledge that I can actually apply to something now.
Yeah.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
That's so fun. That's so lucky for you. You have so much content to go through.
It's
my
true.
gosh,
It is.
yeah.
It's never ending. It's going to be a
And we all have
relationship
One of
story.
those bad boys. Speaking of music, I don't know if you've ever seen one of these before.
What's that?
An ocarina.
An ocarina. Oh my god.
It's a tiny little
Really?
ocarina that my fiance got me years ago for Christmas,
Can you
Alright.
play
and it works.
Can you play the forest song? That's the song that everybody has to learn.
I'm like as I hold it in my hand, I just became nervous because I thought that would follow.
Yeah.
But I can hold on.
Bum, 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 bum.
Well done.
It's a song in
Yay.
time.
Oh, yes. That was fantastic.
That's my favorite thing ever.
That's badass. I love that. Thank you for bringing that out.
Made me very happy. Yeah.
So, Ocarina collaboration, maybe? Is that-
Ocarina
Yes.
collaboration.
You came at
It's
the
really
perfect time, Paps.
That was amazing.
perfect time.
Oh my gosh. Loved it. So, on the topic of video games, if you could
Yeah.
cosplay, you're familiar with cosplay.
Yes, I am.
If you
Very
could
much.
cosplay something, a character from a video game or a movie, who would you choose to cosplay?
Oh my god. Oh my god, that's such a good question.
Someone in
I
our
mean-
has to know. Somebody in our stream has to know every time we interview someone.
Yeah.
They need to know, who will you cosplay?
My
Would
mind
you-
is thinking of one thing, but only I don't know if I would do it, but like Frodo. I mean, he's
Nice one.
such a huge. I mean, that whole series did so much for me in my life that I don't know if that would be the one I would do, but it's the first one that comes to mind.
comes to mind.
It's like Frodo.
Let-
I don't know why I choose it.
I'm in love with Lord of the Rings. It was a massive defining moment for me too. Why did you love it so much?
You know why? Because I think Lord of the Rings came out right when I was transitioning from high school to SAGEP. They had announced that they were casting it. And this was when I was like struggling with like fuck do I go to one SAGEP and pursue sciences, or do I go to the other one and pursue theater?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know which choice to make. And then Lord of the Rings came around. They were talking about how they were going to spend 16 months or 18 months in New Zealand
Yeah.
as a family filming this just insanely incredible journey.
Yeah.
And knowing that kind of thing existed, not that I would ever get a chance at it, but knowing that kind of opportunity existed, I didn't know if I could let myself not go after it. Like it was too strong a pull
Mhm.
that I had no choice. I had no choice but to kind of go after that.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
What was the question?
Why you like Lord of the Rings so much?
Why do you love Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, and I think it was just that. It had such a it was such a turning point for me and my sense of direction and what I wanted to do. It kind of solidified. It made me ask the question, like straight up.
Yeah.
Like, do you want to do this or do you not want to do this?
Yeah.
Because there's no like, oh, I'm going to be an actor, but on the side while I do my real career. It's like, well, no. I mean, the opportunity is not going to be there unless you're there for the opportunity.
Yeah.
So it was either all or nothing. And I think that movie coming out, even though I'm not saying it's the greatest piece of cinematic creation in history, but the impact it had on me and the revelation of, these kinds of stories exist, these kinds of jobs are a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
I want to work the rest of my life trying to get there,
Yeah.
because that will mean something to me.
And you found it in Watch Dogs. Isn't that
And I did.
It's
I
so
did. I
freaking
absolutely
cool.
did. And that was kind of why. And I don't know. I feel badly or weird saying this, but Watch Dogs 2 was. I'm so grateful for the opportunity, but at the same time, it's shown me what things could be like in terms of work and in terms of what you get out of it. That every other job that presents itself that doesn't provide some kind of opportunity to connect with people or help people, it just feels meaningless in comparison.
Mhm.
Like I'll do a commercial for a yogurt, and I'm saying something cheeky and smile at the camera, and you go home and you get a paycheck and you're like, man, that, like, I'm so lucky to be working, but this means absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a
Yeah.
weird thing to say because all I wanted when I started acting was to just work. That was the
Mhm.
goal. And it's like work started a little bit,
Mhm.
and you're like, oh, now I see the potential in what's out there and what this could be.
Mhm.
That when you're presented with a project that's just a paycheck, it's like, man,
Dang.
I
Yeah.
want to work with a family of people. I
Mhm.
want to I want to connect with an audience. I want to work and I want to talk to people about it and I want to have conversations. And I can't do that selling deodorant.
No.
You know, like,
No, it's
I mean,
a
I
stepping
can,
stone,
depending
like
on
you
the people.
to
I was going to
survive.
say, yeah,
Yeah.
there's some pretty big deodorant enthusiasts out there.
But the point being that, like, Watch Dogs 2 and this isn't the right word, ruined a lot of other experiences for me because it set the bar.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about strictly the fact that millions of people know about it or play the game or it's a big deal, but more the experience I got to have coming to work every day and working with these artists and getting excited. And I don't think it gets any better than that. I really don't.
Well, and I could see that, like, once you have that experience and you move into a new workplace and they're just like, okay, shut up until you do your role. And it completely alters how you take jobs or how you feel.
And video game is very different than everything else because you're working in a volume, which is basically like a big studio. So the beauty of it is that you're working 9 to 5. There's no night shoots. Everyone there is well slept. No one's grumpy. There's no crew members lugging around gear, getting in some other crew's way, arguments, passive aggressive this, passive aggressive that. On a film set or a TV set, if you're not needed on set, you're by yourself in your trailer, waiting to get called. And don't get me wrong, like, I'm blessed to get any work at all, but if we're honest, like, the experience is maybe a little lackluster. It's not the coolest thing in the world once you're doing it, unless you get to work with amazing people who inspire you and you get to share that excitement and love.
That's true. I think it's been a similar experience, like becoming streamers. One of our ultimate excitements was working with video game developers and giving feedback live on games. And then you get opportunities for games that don't excite you, but you have to make ends meet, so you do it. But then you get games that you're just like, you fall in love with, and the developers are there and present and they want to interact with you, and you're like giving feedback on a game real time. And it's an amazing experience.
Well,
it is amazing.
And then you go back to other experiences that are in the similar vein, and none of that support or communication is there, and you're like, okay.
But it's a means to an end, though, right?
It is.
Like, you've had the good experiences. You've had the experiences that have affected other people. And I just keep reminding myself that, you know, another role is out there somewhere that I'm going to get that's going to have a profound effect on someone out there. You know, maybe I have the opportunity to save someone's life or change the course of their life. And if I stop, I will never get the chance to see that happen. You know, I have to keep going, not just for myself, but for everyone else out there who has a dream or who needs someone to, you know, relate to.
I love acting is such a powerful career in that way. That you can help shape somebody else in a positive way.
And I didn't know that until Watch Dogs 2. I felt that for the first time and I was like, oh, I see where this can go. Wow.
Now I know.
Now I know. And I want to do more of that, but those opportunities are few and far between.
Well, and especially, like, it's one good thing about the internet, it connects us all. The bad thing about the internet,
it connects us all.
It connects us all. Everybody has an equal opportunity, whether they should have an equal opportunity or not. And everything, especially involved in the arts, becomes a convoluted mess that you have to sift through in order to make it somewhere. So I feel you on that. It definitely isn't the industry we idolized when we were young.
No, it's just an idea of what it is. It's not real.
So coming to terms with that, I think, is difficult as an artist. That, you know, it doesn't matter how profound or incredible your product is, because if nobody hears it, it doesn't mean shit. So it's a tough go, but
that's why I have those letters hung up right there. Anytime I'm feeling down, I just read them, and I'm reminded, like, don't give up, keep going. There's a purpose. There's a reason for all this.
There's something larger coming your way.
I've made an impact. I'm doing the right thing. I'm on the right track.
I'm giving.
That really does make a
giving
difference.
back somehow.
So we do have time for a few more questions before we have to
of course,
saying goodbye.
Sad. So yes, if there's any more questions from chat, now is your moment. Make sure that you're asking them. And while you're thinking of those, I wanted to know, actually, this is not something we got around to, but what game are you playing right now? What video game are you playing that's on your that's in your loaded up?
Well, right now with my community, I'm going through the Assassin's Creed series. We started with
Oh,
Origins, and now we're
Yes.
playing Odyssey, which is a
Beautiful.
great game. A little bit on the long side, but
Odyssey is long, yeah.
it's long. It's
It's an
long.
odyssey. Yeah.
It's fun. And on the weekends, we're doing like scary games, like Resident Evil style or
Oh, nice.
Outlast,
Ooh.
spooky type stuff, which I love because I'm too chicken to play them by myself. But if there's friends around, it gives me like an excuse to do it.
Yeah.
And I love
Yeah.
those. I
Mhm.
think right now the lady and I are playing. Well, we started to play Watch Dogs Legion, but our Steam Link is having incredible input lag issues. So,
Mm.
Oh, farts.
but I mean, we played Breath of the Wild for I don't know, a couple hundred hours. We've gone through it like 3 times together, collected
Really?
all the items, all the gear, upgraded everything. We just like
Cool.
spending time
Yeah.
in that
Yeah,
kind
in
of
that
bright,
game.
colorful, open world.
Yeah.
You know, it's therapeutic in some ways, and
I
I
highly
yeah,
recommend Guacamelee and Guacamelee 2. If you guys,
Guacamelee.
yes,
Actually, yeah, they are actually.
it's an indie game out of Toronto.
Yeah, it's an indie game
have a
developer
pen.
out of Toronto called
I'll send
Drinkbox
it to you.
Studios.
Yeah.
Can you send it to me?
Oh yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
But they're Metroidvanias in the purest form.
Mhm.
And they're incredibly addictive, but they are multiplayer, so you can play through it
Yeah, Twitch
with
co-op.
your girlfriend
Yeah.
or wife.
Yeah,
And it's a blast. It's an absolute
is.
blast.
Oh yeah.
sweet. We're always looking for games to play together. It's
It-
hard sometimes to
It
find
was
one.
the game that made us fall in love with playing together. Like
Yeah.
we just devoured it, and it's bright and it's beautiful and it's a good story. It's heartwarming and it's a Metroidvania and it's just
It's got
fun.
nods to like how the indie games like to do the Easter eggs of whatever inspired them.
hmm
So there's tons
Yeah.
and tons of Castlevania and Hollow Knight
gosh.
and
Mhm.
Metroid, all like right down to the Chozo statues. You know, the ones you break in Metroid to get the powers.
Yeah.
Have
They
those.
recreated those in
Yeah.
Guacamelee. It's
Yeah.
pretty terrific.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I also I forgot to mention Phasmophobia too. I'm playing a lot of that.
Oh
We
yeah.
played the crap
I
out of that.
love Phasmophobia.
You love that?
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
It's like it was scary for the first couple hours, and now it's just this nice kind of
Yeah.
mechanical.
Yeah.
It's relaxing in some ways. It's just going in there, trying to figure out what the ghost is, get your evidence, get out, wash, rinse, repeat. But it's different enough.
Each time.
Every round is different enough to just
Yeah.
play a little bit more.
Yeah.
It's important you play with
Exactly.
people that like I have a Phasmo crew now because there's
Yeah.
certain people that
Do
really
you?
Mhm.
yeah, and I would love to. I mean, we could.
Can
we
I?
could-
Is there? I know I have a friend who might.
no,
be
yeah.
looking for people
we
to
should
play
we
with.
should link up and play that
Yeah.
on. We usually do that on Saturdays. So next time we do pull up Phasmo, you're definitely invited.
Oh, please do. I would.
I'll
love
introduce you to my good buddy Sin, who makes it a fucking
He
riot.
really does. Yeah.
To. Oh, I would love to. I love playing. I just play with randoms all the time.
Oh man, no. We'll bring you in. We'll bring you into the fold. You're
Sweet.
okay.
Yeah.
If there's anybody else out there who plays Phasmophobia, hit me up, please.
Yeah.
I love
He
to
needs
play
you.
with you.
Wants to play with you. So Mala had a question in chat.
Okay.
So we touched on this a little bit, but maybe a synopsis. Mala says, Jonathan, I love your vision of life. I would love to know how you keep in that mindset. I personally struggle with positive mindset, so it would mean a lot to know how you achieve that.
I don't. Short answer, I don't keep it. It comes in moments, it comes in waves. Right now the moment is I'm talking with two really interesting people who are sharing this passion of life. So right now I'm in the mindset of thinking of that, and we're talking about it, we're making it the reality right now. This is the moment, and I just cherish the moments that are good because there's a lot of sadness, a lot of pain in between.
Yeah.
And thank God for that, because you need one to have the other. You know,
You
you
do.
can't have immense joy if you don't have incredible pain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just think it's the only important thing is to realize when you are feeling in that slump, just recognizing it with yourself that you are in that place right now, and that's okay.
It's okay. Yeah.
You know,
you
it's
can be there.
you don't have to judge it.
No.
You can be frustrated about it. You can be sad or angry,
Yeah.
but there's never a I shouldn't feel this way. Like, why can't I be happy all the time?
Mhm.
You won't be. It's not possible
It's
because you're
impossible.
human. So, and thank God for that.
Mhm.
But I think just being able to talk to friends is huge, because I don't know about you guys, but when I'm going through my slumps or my what I like to call in the pit, I just push everyone away. I don't talk to anyone. I just like to be by myself. I get stuck in my head with thoughts on repeat, and that generally lasts a few days, sometimes a couple of weeks, in the worst case a couple of months. But inevitably I come out of it, and
There's always an end. Hard
yeah,
to
there's
remember
always
that
an
in
up
the
and
moment.
Yeah,
but
there
there's
always is. Yeah.
Always a light at the end.
there's always a light. But I think you gotta be at a certain point. You just gotta be sick of it. You just gotta be sick with feeling sad and actually want a positive change to come because you need it, not because you just want it, but you're absolutely sick of not having it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when you're ready, just be gentle with yourself. Be gentle with yourself. Realize that it's okay to feel the things you feel. Take the time you need. And when you are not as deep in the pit as you might be, that is an opportunity to reach out to someone and just start climbing back up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
Exactly.
not all great all the time, to be honest. It's really
No.
not. But right
Galar-
now it's great.
It is great. Right now is a great moment.
Yeah.
Right
Galar
now, right here,
mentioned,
right now.
A quote from a folk singer: "No one ever had a rainbow until they had the rain."
That's a beautiful quote.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
And I think there's a book or it's a quote that's it's okay to not be okay.
It's okay not to be okay. Yeah. I think that is a book. Yeah.
So there's a lot of reflection on that type of mental state, and embracing it equally as much as you embrace being happy and being positive. And it is important because you do learn a lot about yourself if you take the time to understand why you are. We call it going dark.
Yeah. Or burrito days.
And it's good to understand too and analyze and not just be like, fuck this, I don't like this feeling. Try to understand why you're in that feeling. Is it something like was there a catalyst, or is this just a natural thing that's happening with your body? And just analyzing it in that moment is important too. I find it helps you get out of the dips quicker when you actually put time into figuring it out.
And I think that's
sorry. Please.
I was only going to say is I think that's like there's a colloquial expression about living in the present moment, but I think that's what we're describing, and that the benefits of just being in the moment that you're in, regardless of what it is a healthy activity.
It's practicing getting out of your head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just practicing being present. Like you said. And one thing that helps me is, and this might sound strange, but when you're in that sad and dark place, it's, what if this was happening? What if you were your own younger brother? What if exactly what you're going through right now was happening to a sibling?
Yeah.
What would you say to that younger brother, to yourself? How would you talk to them? How would you help them deal with what they're feeling? Like, how can you be a good friend to yourself and just help that person who's struggling work through what they're going through? Sometimes that helps.
That does seem like I've actually never considered that myself before.
Yeah.
Like
just like, what would you say to someone else going through this right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
forget it's you. Talk to the person you are right now and just see what happens.
Yeah.
Have a conversation with yourself.
It's true.
All right, hold on.
Yeah.
How's it going? Oh, I'm all right. How are you doing? Oh, not so bad. What are you up to today? Or just interviewing a guy. What are you up to? Well, I was thinking about getting drunk. Well, I shouldn't do that. It's the middle of the day, bud. Well, you're right. Worked.
Did it work?
Worked.
Yeah, good. Nice.
But I hope that helps you guys, because I know a lot of people in here, we're gamers. There is a certain aspect of us innately that feel lonely. That's kind of the reason we come on Twitch to begin with. That's why we, communicate in communities.
Yeah.
I don't know, just make friends with sadness, because at the end of the day, it's something that you're going through. It's not an enemy. It's not working against you. It's trying to work for you. You just got to work on differentiating what is truth and what is an idea. Like, what is real and what are you creating in your head? Just being able to identify what's actually true and what is just a fabrication of your mind.
Yeah.
And being able to sort those out so you can just understand yourself better.
better.
That in itself is a big thing.
It is. Mala, it was a great question. No apologies. And Mala said, thank you. That really helped him.
Yeah.
Made a difference.
This is exactly what I mean. Sorry if I'm in the mood. It's like, it hurts me because the person is in some ways judging what they're saying and sharing. And it's like, no, this is exactly what we need more of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be able to give you an answer if you didn't
ask the question. And I love these conversations. I love this.
They're the best.
Yeah, they are.
So that being said,
we're going to get on to our final question.
We're going to get on to our final question.
This is the question that concludes every interview. It's something that one of our chat members has asked at every interview, and we made an official part.
Can I ask it?
You can ask it.
I'm really excited to ask this question.
It's a little silly, but it's wonderful.
Okay, so I need you to sit down for this one, because this is the fucking realest thing you're going to hear today.
Oh, yeah.
What is your favorite bridge?
Rainbow Bridge.
Oh, yes! What a good answer. No one's answered that one before. That was beautiful. Why is it your favorite bridge?
It's like, because nobody can fucking beat me on it.
No, actually, I know this is going to sound so weird, but I couldn't think of many bridges. But rainbow bridges is the term that pet owners use when they're
No,
That's right.
We had a poem, a rainbow bridge.
We
Our
did have a
dog died
poem. Yeah.
last year.
Rocco had that. We had that poem.
Read
and
it at his
it's the
funeral.
bridge that provides, safe passage to
Yeah.
whatever's next. And
I
I
like
don't know
that.
if
So
it's a
it's-
real bridge or if it's not, but
Yeah.
I love that story.
No, it was neat. So our boyo passed away last winter, and he was an incredible dog. Like, he wasn't even a dog; he was just a baby.
Yeah.
And he passed, and it was difficult, especially for my daughter. It was her first dog. But when we had him cremated, and they gave us that Rainbow Bridge poem, and she really liked it. And it was the first time I'd ever heard of that. Like, I've never taken an animal to get cremated ever, so it was
beautiful.
neat that they would provide that kind of closure or attempted closure for the owners of the pet.
It's essentially a story that says the dogs are waiting for you across the Rainbow Bridge, and they're just waiting for you there for you to come, and then one day you will be there, and they'll be waiting for you, and then you can go on together.
Yeah.
God, it makes me like cry thinking about it.
I know. I'm holding it back right now.
That was a really
I'm literally
good
just
answer.
trying-
Yeah.
We first thought it was a Mario answer.
I thought it was a Mario.
I know.
Kart.
I saw
better.
that in Doc's face, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh no, I don't.
It's not that one, which is
No.
also a good answer.
Sit your ass
Yeah.
down,
But
Doc.
this is better.
That's not what this is about.
Yeah.
No, we lost our cat to mammary cancer about a little over a year ago, and that was tremendously traumatic. I read about that poem or story shortly after that.
Yeah.
It helps. In a way.
It does.
Yeah, I mean, it's story, right? And
Yeah.
what else is story for?
No, exactly.
Yeah.
It's to
You know?
inspire and to give some kind of hope.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
exactly. So I have one final question, and
Sure.
one of my close
And guys,
friends.
this has been
brought it up.
wonderful. Thank you so much for talking to me today.
This has been
It's
incredible.
been just a wwonderful 2 hours.
Hey guys,
Thank you for your time. Yeah, gosh.
This is incredible.
I got
Yeah.
time, man. I got.
My friend and I are actually planning, and with Doc, we're planning a mental health stream for in May to just try to talk about mental health and some of our concerns in it, and just bring a more positive perspective.
Essentially, it'll be a round table.
It's going to be a round table, so a lot of different people will be there to talk about it, and we would love if you would join us if you would be interested.
Absolutely. Yeah, just say
Wonderful.
when.
Wonderful. We will send you more
Yeah,
details.
totally.
That's going to be incredible. I'm glad
Easy.
to know.
Easy, yes.
Easy, yes.
So, did we give away the Uni Ducky?
We haven't given away the Uni Ducky, so Jonathan is donating his Uni Ducky to chat so that we
Yes.
can give it away.
I
what?
had to graciously decline because
Yeah,
Cody destroys every and all stuffed
Stuffies.
animals we
Not
have.
gonna-
Within,
However-
honestly, not even a minute. Literally, not even a minute.
I used my brain,
You did? Okay. What did your brain say?
and I decided, like, we'll still do the duck giveaway
Yeah, of
because we
course.
told chat we would.
Yeah.
However, my man Jonathan enjoys
Yeah.
music.
Yeah.
My band just released an album.
We should send him some album.
I can send him a signed copy of the album.
Signed copy of the album. That's a good one.
Please do.
I need to ask this though: are you a fan of Fifth Element?
The movie?
Yes.
Of course.
Okay. So my band's
That's-
name is.
Do you like movies?
My band's name is Carbon Dallas.
Oh no way!
Yeah.
Yeah.
And our first album was called Elements.
Yeah.
No, Bay, no. I need to hear this.
Yeah.
Please send me a link.
I absolutely will. It's
it
on
is
Spotify. and everything. Yeah.
Is it good, Chet? Does he make good music?
What do you guys think?
Chat, does he make good music?
Does he make good music?
They may be biased.
Well, I mean, I'm not to toot my own horn, but the pre-orders were sold out in like the first week. No,
Yeah.
not sold out, but
Dude,
yeah, like
that's sick.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
there's the
Yeah.
command.
No, it's bad like him. Oh, there we go.
don't listen to
Tag
Tiggy's full of shit.
Tag is a friend like that, yeah.
But yeah, no, I'll definitely hook you up with that.
Sick, dude. That's awesome.
Thought that would be a nice
It's a good one,
thank
yeah.
you gift.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. Perfect.
And
Share your art with me.
Absolutely, 100%. But guys, let's do the giveaway for the Uni Ducky before we take off.
Yeah.
And
Enter your names, guys. Exclamation mark enter. You know how it's done. Exclamation mark enter. We'll get, and we'll while you're entering, we'll say goodbye to Jonathan.
Okay.
And then we'll draw that giveaway and go.
Terrific.
Yeah. Thank you so much for this beautiful conversation. This
It's
has
been
a stellar
an
interview.
absolute pleasure. Best conversation I've had in a long
Yeah.
time,
Thank
guys.
you.
So
Thank you for saying so.
much.
Thank you.
And
Yeah.
I hope you guys got something out of this in chat. Don't be a stranger. I'm just a gamer like you guys, so don't be afraid to say hi.
So I hope
Go
it's okay to
find
say,
him.
but Jonathan has joined our Discord. Don't spam him, but he's there if you want to talk to him.
But even better, you could go to his Twitch and talk to him there. He streams 3 days a week. And you can find him on Twitter, on Instagram, and on IMDb. I mean, if you really want to get to know him, IMDb it.
Spend a
Follow
weekend
me
watching
on
auto
my
movies.
journey.
That's
On
right.
his journey, yeah, exactly.
Thank you very, very much,
Thank you
Jonathan.
again. Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
This
And
is
we
so
will-
fun.
Great.
Absolutely be in touch in the very near future.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
Have a lovely
Lala,
day.
mwah, doc,
Take care.
mwah,
Mwah.
Chat.
Take care, my brother.
mwah, mwah,
Bye.
mwah. Bye, guys. Thank you so much.
Have a good one.
Aw, you too. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.